welcome everybody. It's another CPL match of the week. Lower tier action tonight. You got higher tier tomorrow. Make sure you're there for that too. And it's the valiant return of my trusty co-caster, Neblime. How you doing, buddy?
I've finally come back. I traveled through rain and also rain and actually a bit more rain, but I've returned to CPL. It's finally happened. I'm hyped to get into the first cast since I'm back. First cast of the year for me. Let's do it.
I mean, first cast of the year for a lot of people. It's still very early in this new year for us. But before we get started, we got a couple things we can throw out there. Right in chat so people know who's being casted if you didn't catch it in Discord. But if you're not aware, get in the Discord. There's been announcements and things. People have been put on their teams. People should be starting to organize if they're gonna have their own private Discords or if they're just using the normal CPL one. Starting to organize practices and maybe signing up for week 1 of regular season, which starts next week. Signups are going to be due on Sunday. Help your team, like the admins, the coaches, help everyone out. Look into who's running the signups. Get excited, join up. Don't make them chase you around. But it's really exciting that we still got some preseason to go until we get to the regular season week 2. We can't really cast regular season games. So when we get there, we'll be catching up. So we still got a little more preseason to kind of iron out here. But we're going to get started into our first game. And, alright, let me get that hosted up.
So yeah, there's not much time left. If you're thinking of practicing, getting in shape for your matches, you got to start now if you haven't already. And they'll be there before you know it.
Yep, absolutely.
Can't be letting your team down, right? That's the whole thing.
Yep, that seems about right. We're getting started into our first cast. I feel nice to cast some week 1 stuff because I was getting a little tired of Eclipse over and over and over. We were doing it quite a lot, but we're gonna get started. Week 1 was all on Polypoid, so we're gonna get cracking with that. And we got game 1 going on. At the top right, the red Terran, it's Dragon Zord. In the top left, the green Zerg, it's red.fakefin. Red being the clan name. Doesn't represent the color, but you know what? That's his choice. That's fine.
I mean, I'm very disappointed he doesn't represent the color. So, obviously this game was played in preseason before people knew their teams, but both these players ended up on the same team. So both these players are going to be in neck and cheese, it's going to be called. So, you know, this is a bit of a hindsight internal conflict in the team.
Yeah, that'd be funny if like the game ends up being like really like aggro. It's just like, what were you doing to me, man? Well, we're teammates now. It's fun.
So game 1, all the games are on Polypoid, yes?
For week 1, every game's gonna be on Polypoid. Still in preseason.
Sorry, did I say game 1?
Yeah, it's still preseason, so everything's best of 1 here. When we get into the regular season, we're finally begin to the sweet best of 3s where you get that mind game. But right now, it's just one game. You know, if there's people might be doing some really wild stuff. Although I've actually been surprised with some of the strategy we've been seeing with the cast so far this season. There's a lot of backlog. You can check out the YouTube to see all those. But we've seen a variety of stuff. And one of the big things I've been seeing a lot is a decent amount of Zerg's been favoring like a 9-pool opening against Terran, which blows my mind. I don't think that's what we're seeing this game, though, unfortunately.
Well, if he does do it, he might regret it because Dragonzor's trying to set up a link-proof wall down here. I don't actually know if this is like narrow enough, but he's sure trying. Maybe he knows something I don't. But yeah, it's not going to be a 9-pool coming up anyway. I mean, look at this. Okay, yeah. So he's going to set up this like little semi-wall. That doesn't actually block out links. So you know what? Maybe Fake Finn would have been better off with a 9-pool because I'm pretty sure a 9-pool would just insta-win this.
So is this that kind of wall you kind of build back and touches with your CC just to make it harder? You have to go like around everything, or does that not work with
yes. Well, once you have a CC here, and especially obviously like SCVs and the minerals, is like impossible for links to get in as long as there's units behind it. But in the early game, it's like suicide to Lings. That's the thing. Like I was saying, if it's 9-pool, it's like auto-win, but if he gets past that point, it's very good versus later Ling or Lin.
I mean, it seems pretty reasonable. But it's like, I can't imagine anyone goes 9-pool and then goes like hard for real big aggression on Polypoid. It's a big macro 4-player focus map.
Have you played ladder?
I am going to choose not to answer that question, partially because let's not worry about it, partially because for us players, it's not quite the same.
Well, the thing is, because it's such a big map, it's actually, you have a bit of a chance to sneak your links past without your opponent noticing if you spawn and cross. So there's kind of that counterbalance. Okay, I'm going to stop trying to pretend I know what he's doing with the depots at this point. Not sure what that extra one accomplishes, but there you go.
Well, this is just for people watching. This is week 1 preseason, so there's a lot of new faces that were into CPL this season, and then this is week 1, so it's like people that maybe this is their first preseason, or they thought it sounded interesting, like getting coached, getting improved at the game. The skill variance might be a little bit wild here. I really don't know, especially I know Fake Fin, he's been around the CPL community, but Dragon Sword name doesn't sound quite as familiar, so we'll have to see what it is. But I mean, so far, like, building placement aside, it doesn't seem like everything's too bad. Going for a reasonable opener to get CC up, work production's been good. So
That's true. That's true. I'm just always picky about building placement in the early game. I like Fake Fin's build. He's going for 2-hatch lair here. He's got a good lair timing. And SV is denied. That's a really strong move. I like that a lot, actually. So now Dragon's Lord has no way of knowing if it's 2-hatch or 3-hatch. Now, he is going to go for eBay first here, I think, based on that gas timing. But I think he's going to have some trouble, because if Fake Fin hits a sharp meter timing, there's no way Dragon Sword's going to have Stim and Medics in time for that, and it can be very difficult to defend in that scenario.
See, I've been looking forward to doing the first preseason game with you once you got back from your holiday vacation, because I see you saying things like sharp timings and making assumptions, but we gotta see if you're gonna buckle down and do it. We do see the engineering base, so we already, you know, I think you learned some tricks over the holiday break. Ask for Christmas to force.
Not everything I say is wrong, all right? just when I'm completely certain. When I'm keeping it vague, like maybe Mutalisk will come and do damage. Oh, look at that Overlord. He's going for this Overlord. Very ballsy Marines, trusting that there's no Lings on the map. I don't think he's gonna get it, or maybe he will.
Dude,
that's going down.
That's so close. Oh! That is brutal.
How can you not see that? Oh.
That is not acceptable. That is not right. So,
dude, Marines are like infants. Where's their object permanence? You know, like, oh, out of sight, it's gone. That Bengalas is freaking out. It's like hype. Like, oh, I can't believe that Overlord lived. Oh!
Well, Fake Fin kind of lucky break. With these kind of 2-hatch builds, you really don't want to be having to build an extra Overlord for no particular reason. Although we do see...
Yeah, it screws you up so much.
I mean, eBay's done well in time. Upgrades getting started. Academy's done as well, and now we're seeing some barracks get added on. This seems a little bit unusual. Normally, you know, I see like kind of stick on 2 barracks for a little while, but going up to 3 already, and the eBay's time is a little earlier than I'm used to seeing. So this might lead to maybe a stronger army initially, and we're actually seeing more barracks going down. I think Dragonzord is not in the mood to screw around, wants to start setting up for some kind of push soon.
Yeah, well, the idea behind the build Dragonzord is doing is that with a 3-hatch build, Zerg's lair timing is a bit later, so they can't hit your Mutalisk right away, so you can spend that time building these barracks to get the turrets a little bit later. But that is not indeed what Fake Fin is doing, and because I'm liking Fake Fin's position a lot for a number of reasons, like, well, okay, he did get supplied more tier, but that's okay. First, you know, he got that safety cycle, which is a great move, because you don't want to have a stim timing compress and kill you. He's hitting this Mutalisk timing pretty well. And I think Dragonzord SimCity is actually going to hurt him a bit here. These 2 depots down at the natural, such as they are going to be hard for him to defend from like above the cliff or something like that. It's going to stop Marines moving around. I'm glad he floated that other barracks in the base, to be honest, because it would have been even harder with that. But he has no bunker, no turrets going down as yet. He did just scan, and he sees Mutalisk out. I assume this will make him make some turrets. He's starting.
Yeah, you'd think so. But it's always like, especially early on, if you're like not really planning it into the build, like, you gotta make them. You gotta make them in the right spots. Nothing at the natural so far. You see the mutas coming on over. There's turrets being made around the production, but they're nowhere near done. If Fake Fin goes in right now, he definitely has a good opportunity to get some damage done going in. And one turret's done, but the other one gets canceled. And there's a couple mutas here, but Marines are still around. You gotta be very careful.
Oh, that turret's gonna finish. Oh my god, it's on 200 HP. Select that turret. It was on 200 HP and it was not finished. I didn't even know that's a thing. Oh my god, these Marines coming in here, but they don't have stim, so they kind of suck. But there's plenty of turrets, and they're hitting these Mutalisks from all directions. I think Fake Fin's going to lose almost all of these. Whoa. Ouch.
Yeah, some mutas going down, and others are taking a lot of damage. But this is a lot of turrets that got forced out of Dragonzord. You can see a big ring in the main, and a couple sent over at the natural too. I mean, with all these barracks though, still be able to keep producing the ground army and be able to get things done. Medics are on the way, actually a decent amount of medics, so I think Dragonzord may be looking to try and push out on the map, knowing that he did some damage to these mutas, that the threat isn't quite as big as you're used to. Meanwhile, taking the 3rd hatchery over on the left side of the map while Dragonzord doesn't feel super comfortable to move out, but you see that move out and the legs are going to spot it.
Yeah, I don't know about this now for Fake Fin. Like, I feel like he lost too many Mutalisk there and didn't get enough done, and now, like, oh my gosh. Oh, okay, somehow doesn't lose another one there. Now Dragon's Lord has kind of like the best build ever versus 2 hatch. Oh. Okay, big damage going down these Mutalisks. They do get one swipe off. The Marine's trying to run. Not the most active Micro, but they're doing their work against this small cut-off amount of Marines. And the other half of the Marines hitting the Sunken right now. Looks like these Mutalisks are actually going to clean this up.
Yeah, I don't like that the Terran army got so split up there. You saw like half of stem and darted forward and just ended up going into a Sunken up at the front while the others tried to fight. And this isn't like that normal kind of build you're seeing where there's a bunch of medics here, but some of the Marines got picked off early with the early Mutalisk defense. So I think splitting the army up there really hurt Dragon's Sword there, and you can see that the push looks a lot less intimidating now. They've been trying to find some more damage with these Mutas.
Well, saving the medics is certainly a big plus for Dragon's Lord here. Are you sure you missed casting me with the lags coming in? But you know, there's still a bunch of Mutalisks out here, and Fake Fit is transitioning Lurker. So I don't know if he denies like another Bioforce with Mutalisks, I think he's in a great position. But can he? There's not that many Marines, and they are spread out again. But if they can get together and attack, like one Sunken is not going to hold this up for more than like 3 seconds. Again, hitting the natural though. There is a small group of Marines and a turret here to defend, so I think Dragon's Lord can go ahead and counter, but he's not bringing all his Marines. Looks like he has enough. He's steaming in, going after that Sunken. A few more Mutalisks hatch. Oh, they fly right past. Yeah, Lurker Aspect is not complete. Hydralisks are the worst unit in this scenario.
They definitely don't want to be losing it here. Fakefin finally retreating the Mutas, trying to salvage everything. But taking some pretty big damage here. It's not like Fakefin was really up on drones to begin with. He can't be afforded to be taking any damage here, but the Mutas get back in time to help deflect this.
Oh, it's not enough Mutalisks though. I think these Marines are going to take them out. The thing is, these Marines have +1 as well because he got that eBay first. And look, he's just melting those Mutalisks. Without Micro, they actually really aren't good against M&M at all. They just get gunned down like that, and the medics just keep healing. Are there any Lurkers morphing? Because I don't see what else Fake Fin can do from here. He's going to lose his natural. There's nothing really to defend the main. Lings popping don't really help us Stim Marines.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think all the Hydras he had ready to become Lurkers got killed off at the natural. So kind of panic boost here. But you see Fake Fin, lots of resources. That could have at least been a bunch of Mutalisks instead to help deflect this, or over at the third, maybe making Hydras there to get some Lurkers, slow things down. But Dragon's Lord just moved right into the main, took out all the drones, and Fake Fin has to tap out of that one. Pretty decisive win after fumbling some of those engagements from Fake Fin.
Well, I guess it just goes to show that even if you do a build that doesn't strategically make sense, if you execute your build better, you're still going to win. Because yeah, it seems like Fake Fin didn't quite get like the solid Muta timing to really punish that eBay first. And you saw the strength of that +1. It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's Stim too. Just Marines are. I never understand when Terrans act like Marines are not good. They're so good. They're so ridiculously good. The damage they can put out, they're not getting picked apart. I mean, we saw that from that first push that got split up. The Dragon's Lord lost his stuff and the potency went down. But if they're all together, the Marines are just amazing.
Oh yeah, they have great DPS, but they just keep exploding. That's what's wrong with them. Like, a Marine is looking for any excuse to just explode into a shower of blood, is what it feels like.
We'll see if this game goes a little bit differently in the top right. In the pink, it's a Protoss player, it's Rana Storm. And the bottom right, green Zerg, it's a user with some numbers after him. He's just being user to me.
Let's just call him user.
I'm not going with the numbers, we're not doing this. So PVZ, no Marines this time. They can't explode into blood. You can
The only place they're safe is when they're sitting inside the barracks.
Yep.
So Rana is also from Mech and Cheese, but User is on Team IKEA Build Orders. So gosh, you have a taste of team versus team here.
I love that team name too. That's super clever in a way that I
It's
really appreciate.
That is an early probe. Oh boy, is this going to be like a 9-gate at the natural?
Given how fast this pylon is, but even that really doesn't make a lot of sense, where it's like, even if you're gonna do like 9 gates, you still want to... Did you just see something like a critter explode by that pylon?
yeah, it's hallucinated Kakaroos that start on the map.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't actually ever notice that.
So they only have a tiny bit of energy, so after a few seconds they disappear.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, but I think with how early this pylon is, it's like, I guess to get the probe scouting, but really you should just be building things at the normal time. Meanwhile, I see user spawn pool already in production. So this was a 9
This
pool.
is my kind of Zerg build.
Yeah, 9 pool, not over pool. So
Strom in the chat. Strom in the chat. I'm telling you, this is how you do it.
Well, I'm definitely a little bit concerned here. We do see that first gateway going down for Ron Storm, but the timing's kind of get a little bit messed up here. Although with a bunch of the probes staying around, minerals building up pretty quickly, I think a second gate could go down if Ron wants to be going that route. But I don't like. Do you want to go for like 9 gates against 9 pool? That seems dangerous.
Well, if you're building your natural like this, is totally fine. If you proxy them, you're basically screwed. Yeah, but building them here is not bad. I mean, even against non-cool, if you proxy, it's just kind of like do the lings get to your base for you, like kind of get in there and lock the ramp. It's always possible. I feel like 2 gate for Protoss is like against Zerg. I mean, if you have the finesse, if you play perfectly, it's always possible.
Well, anyone who's watched the preseason games knows I get a little agitated, I get a little annoyed when I see this kind of opening, but you see the gateway goes down and then a forge going after. Maybe a response just to try to get cannons up in time to help defend against this sniper.
There's no probe at the natural. He can't start a cannon. He sees Lin going past, but he preemptively put a pylon on the natural, but Zerg is not even taking that natural, so that's 100 minerals Protoss could use. Oh, and he's not going to cancel the pylon either. This looks really bad right now. There's literally nothing to defend at the natural. The Lings are coming fast.
Yeah, probe trying to come down, but there's no way anything's going to get built in time. Can go down. That if any amount of lengths will be able to stop that for sure, but you see 4 on the way here. A couple stay back at home to kill that pylon for sure. Zealot pops out, so this fight may be able to slow things down. Just need to buy time for this cannon to go. The user needs to decide what he wants to do here.
Fancy micro from user, but he does pull back. But he kept all his links alive, except the first one.
Well, a bunch of links still here, but just buying time for this cannon to go down. But this is still very dangerous. 9 pool openings tend to have link speed, which is almost done. And you can even see that user took out guys out of gas. This is very committed to doing damage. So not building hatcheries, not building any kind of tech, no hydras or nothing, just gonna run stuff by. And with this wall that's not blocking anything, I don't blame user for trying this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not sure if there's a gap with those zealots, but it sure looks like there is. But I feel like that's probably a fundamental rule of StarCraft. If it looks like there's a gap, that means it's like link tight.
There's probably gaps by that pylon too, though. Like.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, like there's gaps everywhere. Once you have that speed, I think you could just kind of go crazy. Which the speed should be done now for user. So I'm expecting some kind of move out here. Second cannon going down. This Nexus from Rana, if there was like a setup to try and get that going, being very delayed. User finally committing to getting a second hatchery at the natural, but a probe spawned that out. So very unusual opener. Both players doing some very interesting, aggressive kind of builds. And neither of them pulling the trigger and actually attacking. But user sneaking a base in the top left. I don't think that's going to get scouted for a significantly long time.
I think that's a good strategy, to be honest, when you're behind. Because yeah, I think user is in a tenuous position here, assuming Rana takes his nexus at some point. Because yeah, user's economy has been impacted quite severely by doing this 9 pool, but no damage went down at all. I don't believe a single probe died, so it looks pretty tough. But will Rana take this expansion? Right now, there's like hollow 2 bases. Like, you've got the wall and everything down here, but you didn't take the Nexus. It's just like you're a hollow shell. Even getting the Cyber before the Nexus, interesting.
Yeah, so I think this might be that kind of thing where you just have all stuff at the front, you're bluffing that you took the Nexus. It's going to be hard to actually get in there. You see the Overlord a little too far south. We should be able to see it, but the positioning is making it difficult. And you see back at home, user, there's a Hydra Den. It's getting upgraded. It's 3 hatcheries on the map, so things are out of order. The times are a little bit off, but I think going for that tried and true. If I think you got a bad wall, and I think I could break it, it's just time to make some Hydras and to try to end the game quick.
So what tech do you think Rana's going to get off one base? You think it's going to be Stargate? I assume it's not Citadel because there's still only one gate, right?
I definitely am not think it's Stargate, considering cannons going down in the main as well, and more cannons going down the front. If you're smelling out that maybe it's Hydra, some kind of thing, you gotta be going Citadel here, adding on some more gateways, trying to get to Storm and help you survive this. You see gateways.
Well, I wasn't thinking of survival. I was thinking more of aggression. If you get Citadel and Zealot speed, you just run out with a bunch of Zealots suddenly. Because I don't think you want to survive when you're down on bases here. Like if you get the Nexus, like White Rise says, make expand then defense it. You don't just defend. No expand. There's no point because you're just stuck on one base there. So I think Rana has to either move out or expand. And the expand is already pretty late.
Yeah, I mean at this point, you see with more gateways going down, I think the expand is not quite the choice here. But I'm a little bit surprised. Like you're not seeing some of the things you might be used to seeing, like the Forge upgrading +1 weapons or a lot of units being made. You see kind of a trickle of Zealots from the front, but it hasn't even really been consistent production. And we're not seeing a tech choice made, no Dragoon range, so it's like I'm a little confused on what the choice is going to be here from Rana. It seems like maybe just a little indecision. It's given that it was a bit of a weird opener from the Zerg, just not really sure what to do. But user very aware of what they want to do. Lair nearing completion, these Hydra upgrades are on the way, and kind of just rallying more stuff, make sure Rana stays at home, and looking like feeling comfortable, starting to add on some drones again.
Yeah, I think for sure Rana just doesn't have a specific build, and this game shows why you need that. You really just need like an exact plan to follow. You know, User's build was pretty easy, like 9 pool, but at least it's a build, right? Zealot's trying to clean up a few links. The Overlord comes in, it sees how late this Nexus is. It's also going to get taken out by cannons, which is a bit unfortunate. The Overlord didn't have to die, man.
Yeah, a little unfortunate, but does get the gets in far enough to get a really good idea of how many cannons are made, and then seeing that Nexus time. So that's good knowledge. You see, User starting to be a bit of aggressive with these Hydras as well.
Ooh, the micro.
Yeah, not kiting things back quite enough, but still getting some damage done, trying to get some units killed here. And we're seeing some more lair tech upgrades on the way, but nothing really critical. While Rana finally making that tech decision, it looked like it will be Citadel of Dune. I think that we're going to be going towards Templar tech.
Nothing critical, you say? That's like drops coming up. I don't know what User's planning. There's no Overlords anywhere near this base. So a slow Overlord drop is going to take a long time.
Oh wow, that is Overlord drop. That is unbelievable. Like I was just so used to seeing it, like, oh, it's an Overlord upgrade. It's gotta be speed, right?
It's the antenna, obviously. You gotta get that Overlord sight range.
Yeah, kinda wasn't thinking that one through. And did that upgrade complete, or did it get canceled?
I believe it was canceled.
All right, so see, like I'm there. I'm 3 steps ahead. We're playing 40 chess here. I know what they meant to do.
You knew what would happen.
Rana.
So yeah, actually, I think it's just intended to be Overlord speed the whole time.
Yeah, I think so as well. Rana has the Citadel done, working on the Zealot legs, adding on Stargate very late now. I'm a little bit surprised to see something like that. I don't really like the choice there. But User, just the build seems to be making a lot more sense here. I mean, you could just add on Hydras, add on drones, like you don't have to go anything crazy. I would like to see some more tech decisions being made. I'm not sure if Lurker got upgraded. We don't see any evolution chambers. So it looks like User just trying to kind of get things going, but no real next step planned, while Rana finally getting that Nexus up and running, trying to get their next step going. But it's a little bit all over the place. I'm not sure how much I actually like this.
Yeah, well, we are going to get all the pieces eventually with the Storm and the Corsairs and so on. And yeah, Zerg, I'm a bit concerned because they haven't really droned up this third base all the way over here. But if it stays hidden, I mean, that works out pretty well. Only thing is, User's SimCitying the third over there, but not the natural, and Pros doesn't even know about the third, so Pros just attacks all the way to the natural. There's not going to be any defenses there. And you know, once Zealot speed finishes, I don't think User really has enough Hydras here. Never play with any upgrades yet, but Protoss is working on +1. Oh, you know what? Zealot speed's finished, so watch out, Zerg.
I mean, some Hydras back at User's natural as well, and I mean, if you get to that Lurker tech, it does get completed or moving towards anything else.
He killed the Ursidon. Did you see that? That was evil.
I did not, unfortunately. Like, they're just kind of walking. They're in the way. I understand. People value the win
How can you
more.
possibly understand killing an innocent creature? If you Protoss units getting baited in here, I guess this is a lot of Hydras, actually. Maybe you're right. I just feel like if Protoss attacked all at once, though, he can overcome this Hydra force. But just one unit getting baited in at a time is going to go extremely well for Zerg. And still just a few Zealots fighting. Like, basically being donated to the Zerg here while this army just sits back doing nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
This is the kind of nightmare if you're not really up and pay attention to all your stuff. So that's why, like, it's easy if you're kind of getting used to playing these kind of builds and you're not sure what you want to be doing. It's not a bad idea to have these units at the front just in hold position, so that way they can't get baited out like that and drawn out. You have to kind of make the choice when they're going to go out and fight. Rana finally gets some Corsairs on the map, looking like they're trying to scout around. Does not go all the way to the left, they go a little bit to the left and just around, just to avoid the Hydras. If they went all the way, they would have saw on the base, so I think that is going to be hidden for quite a long time, actually. And
there's still time, you can still go there.
I'm very concerned, though, for Rana's safety moving forward. A lot of Hydras being rallied. Storm is nearing completion, so that'll be good whenever it's ready, but is there High Templars? I see a lot of Zealots.
They're building, but yeah, it's their time. Like I said, that's a lot of Hydras coming up, and a few more Zealots getting baited in again. Yeah, this really isn't enough Zealots now, though. And only 3 cannons will not do anything to this number of Hydras. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
This force is trying to hold back. They're literally just walking through and getting on top of the cannons. Oh dear, I think Protoss is about full here.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious for user here to just keep pushing forward. You can see a bunch of overlords moving in, so lots of detection.
Oh wow.
Just in case DTs are going to come up in the mix. So
Yeah.
the army is definitely strong enough. Might as well keep going here. You see that one Templar up in the high ground. One Juicy Storm might be able to happen, but
He's
still
waiting.
a little bit of energy.
He's got
away.
murder in his eyes. All the Corsairs here to drive back the overlords. Oh, they're going to get picked up by the Hydras though. Yeah. That Templar, he's going to do it. Come on, man. He's got energy. I want to see it. Hey, there you go. Oh no, he dodged. He didn't get a single one.
Yeah, user dodging out of that before taking any big damage. But you can see all the probes and natural went down. Ron's army count plummeting. And if you look at the mini map, you just see a bunch of Hydras going in for the kill. User not trying to take another base, not trying to establish anything else, just Hydras and keep going. These High Templars are going to spawn, but they just don't have the energy to actually get anything done. So unfortunately, it's just a little trickle from these gateways, and I don't think it's going to be enough for Ron to survive this anymore.
Yeah, I think this is over. GG. So I think we saw, you know, user had a pretty simple plan. Oh, don't GG and not leave, dude. Okay. You know, he made 9 pool and then it didn't work, so he modified it to another simple plan of just making Hydras and just shoving them in there. Whereas I think Rana was a bit all over the place. Didn't have a specific plan. Like, got the gate first, didn't use that for anything. Got like the Cyber before Nexus, didn't do anything. Got like Templar and Stargate, so it was just going in all directions, not focusing in any. That's why you need a specific build order.
Yeah, it's hard, especially pros versus Zerg. I feel like that's the kind of, like, you can kind of freeform it a little bit in some of the other matchups where it's like, for pros versus pros, just make Dragoons in some capacity. and like Terrans, like, you make some bases, Zealots, Dragoons, like, you can kind of wing it a little bit, but versus Zerg, it's so hard that you could die so abruptly if things are just kind of not working the way you want to. So definitely that's the matchup you gotta really learn something. But I mean, it is, like I said, it's preseason week 1, and this is the lower end of the tier stuff, so this is going to be a lot of people maybe not in CPL before that heard, like, hey, there's a great coaching league to learn more about the game. I want to try that out. So excited to see the faces in there, and I'm never ever concerned about people like watching stuff like this, because once you get a coach and start learning some stuff, a lot of these players improve so quickly. But all right, Neblime comes back. I didn't plan it, but I guess we got one of these. In the top right, the red Terran, it's Dragonzord, and in the bottom left, the blue Terran Legacy Hero, which I think is Starborn Hero was what he's signed in as. So
I can hear the pain in your voice. You don't want to say Terran, but you're like Terran.
Yeah.
So yes, it is indeed Starborn Hero. We have it. I don't know if he's going to be Legacy Hero from now on. So he's from Team Amigo, and if you recall, Dragon's Orders from Mech and Cheese. So Amigo versus Mech and Cheese sneak peek. How this is going to go down?
Man. Well, we'll see this one out. It's cross spawns on a 4-player map known for macro play.
And you know, this map tends to get split in TBT a lot as well because of those mineral high grounds. You know, it's very hard to attack into once there's a certain number of tanks there.
That makes sense. Now, I'm optimistic that my luck, my just sheer luck of always stumbling into TBTs where they don't just split the map, someone goes Vulture all in, someone goes Wraiths, like there's a little bit less than just the normal cut the map apart with a bunch of tanks, slowly just play for minerals and get ready for an hour of fun that might have made you late
That's
to
right, an hour
the
of
cast
fun.
today.
That's exactly it. No. I knew it wouldn't take too long because I went 3-fact Vulture in that game.
See,
So
exactly.
I lost, by the way. That's why you don't. That's why you have to go for the hour-long game, because 3-fact Vulture sucks.
Go Wraiths, man. Wraiths look fun and they're good, or at least dropship play. That's always the thing I love seeing, because Vulture drops are just the most nightmarish thing. If the army's out of position, it can do so much damage in such a big hurry.
Yeah, for sure.
We're seeing these scouts going out. They're going to meet in the bottom right corner, so both players should be able to get some knowledge.
They didn't touch, though. They didn't touch.
I think that is completely fine. And see, like I said, I think I'm a little bit of a magnet for interesting decisions. It looks like between two players, we do have a little bit of a deviation. We see Legacy Hero hasn't started gas yet, just going on that barracks. So I think this might be one of those gasless expands where you get the bunker at the front as well. Dragonsword getting that refinery much quicker, so going to be some kind of tech moving forward. And hopefully it's going to be Wraiths. I love seeing them.
So yeah, Raxify in TBT is a lot more stable than it is in TVP. your opponent basically has to be all in to stop you, and even that's not necessarily easy to do. So I think it's a totally fine build, but you have to be prepared to play against like a lot of mines and Vulture's constantly trying to backstep. Okay, no, he does get this gas, so just a bit of a late gas. He can still start this CC pretty soon though.
I think this might be a little bit rough though. You can just see like there's been no disruption between the two players, but the worker count for Dragon Sword is significantly higher.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to keep that CC working constantly, and Legacy is not doing that. And like honestly, once again, like the last game, I think we see one player came in with like a prepared build, the other did not. Because I'm liking what Dragon Sword's doing a lot. He's getting the factory down, but Legacy Hero doesn't seem to have a clear direction here. And like you said, missing a bunch of SCVs already. Already an enormous lead for Dragon Sword, 17 SCVs to 11. That's almost game winning already.
I mean, we're not gonna, especially at these kind of lower levels, saying game winning for anything like that. Like, there's definitely spots.
I said almost. I said almost.
Well, it's just one. Remember, it's one of these things, especially at the lower ends, where there can be a giant advantage. But one of the hardest things at lower ends is actually closing the game, not being in a position where you should be able to close the game, actually executing, getting it done without fumbling an attack, without moving really far out of position. You see so many games where there's a giant advantage for one player, and then just one misstep, and you lose like a bunch of army to lurkers or something, and it's like, oh, okay. So we'll see if it ends up being that way. You see Dragon Sword, one factory on the way, CC being started, so everything looking very good for Dragon Sword so far. Didn't overmake too many Marines, just being kind of safe here. And Legacy are back at home, mining the gas, and has a place built up, but hasn't, like, I'm not sure what the plan's gonna be and what they do with it.
Well, if Dragon Sword sends his Vulture across the map, it might get a lot done. You'll see just how eagerly Marines will explode if that Vulture comes into this base, but looks like that's not going to happen here, so Legacy Hero is safe for now. Second factory coming up. Well, I liking Dragon Sword's execution a lot. I think he's doing pretty well. But we are going to have some factories coming up now.
Yeah, more factories going on. Vulture Speed being the first upgrade choice for Dragon Sword. I feel like that's a little bit unusual. Like, usually I think it's either Siege Mode to be really defensive, or maybe Mines to get some control. I think the Vulture Speed may be indicating there's going to be some aggression from Dragon Sword trying to get something done.
Well, consider this. If you're playing a TVT, you're making Vultures, your opponent's Vultures, and you get Mines and they get Speed. What chance do you possibly have? Then units just move faster, and Mines don't do anything to Vultures, so you have to get Speed. If you know that your opponent's going straight for tanks, Mines is great, but generally you just always get Speed for that reason.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You're the one that has to play this matchup, not me.
Here's the Vulture. You mean gets to? Hey, look,
No.
Does he have the micro? Oh, he runs right in there. You got to be careful. It's very tricky to micro the Vulture against the Marines because they have almost enough range, but the Glyph will help. Marines are hunting. Wow, look at that. The Vulture has to withdraw. You don't see that every day.
Man, it took some decent damage here, but still Dragon Sword position looking so much better. CC done. Worker count still pretty significant lead despite the lack of any harass actually getting in. And now with two factories completed, one more on the way. You see a second Vulture here, maybe just enough to try to muscle it through. Another little bit fumbled attempt at the micro here.
You know,
look how fast these Vultures are getting killed.
Yeah, you know, Vulture Speed actually makes this harder. Like, it's way harder against Marines because it's hard not to go in too far, right? And these Vultures are both extremely low. That Legacy Hero Vulture could clean those up pretty easily, but there is reinforcements on the way. And 3 factories are up. So I don't know if he keeps shoving Vultures in here. I'm not sure what Legacy Hero can do to defend. More factories coming up, but the ones he has are not producing. And I tell you, these Marines have very limited value in this situation. So they start falling, that'll be it. Well, here we go. 3 Vultures coming in here now. But I think with 4 Marines, you can still defend against that. The Marine falls.
Remember,
oh my gosh.
Remember,
how are these Vultures alive?
Yeah, they are all very, very bruised. Dragon Sword just keeps adding on Vultures back at home, not starting any siege tank production. Both Vulture upgrades now completed with siege mode on the way, but still no tanks. You can see mines being made.
Well, that was nice.
Dragon Sword trying to get something done here. Finally, the Marine Menace is done.
The Marine Menace. Okay, coming in here, taking out all those Marines, and what do you call it, SCVs. Oh, that SCV tried to fight back. That was poor decision. The factories are up, but unfortunately, Legacy Hero has made a bit of a trap here. If he builds anything at the top left factory, it's going to get stuck in the middle of all those factories. We'll see if that happens or not. Okay, Vulture coming up here. I'll see with speed. It's just running away from that, like, you know, lame Hobblog Vulture. We'll get taken out here, I think, actually.
Since you're mentioning that the top left factory, if things are going to get trapped there, is there any advice for how you position where one should get the add-ons so people know if they don't already?
Well, let's talk about this in a second, because suddenly all these vultures are coming in here. There is a tank out that can try and fight this. These vultures do have mines. Can he lay the mines on the tank? Or there's that mine he placed earlier if the tank moves a little bit more to the left. But it is not doing that.
I think the vultures are just the vultures just enough to kind of muscle through that, take the damage anyway. So mine's getting laid. They're a little bit away from the factory. It's not going to hit stuff on spawn. That one mine in the SUV line is always like terrifying to me. There's always that chance, maybe like something walks over.
What if one of the SUVs just turns its jets off? Like, oh, I'm just going to rest for a minute. You know, I'm just going to touch the ground. Imagine that. Okay, so you know what? About this tank, it's actually kind of good in this scenario because the vultures can't get in and lay mines on it. Like, this is like a turret he has now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, look at this. Vultures can't do anything about this.
I don't think Dragon's are too upset that his vultures are having a little bit of trouble trying to do something there back at home. Plenty of money being floated during this attack, but the situation of Dragazord looking so good. The worker count significantly higher, and still the infrastructure there as well. So can be.
Well, we can see that since he spent all his APM microing those vultures, his money is banking up very high here. So I don't know if that can give Legacy Hero a bit of a chance to come back here. About the factories, right? My advice is just put all the add-ons on one particular side and don't put any factories touching them. Okay, these vultures coming in here again, by the way. With this tank, I think... Oh no! Siege is not what you want there, because then they can come in and lay mines all over you. And I'm a tank sieging on the high ground. Well, no mines going down, surprisingly, so actually maybe these vultures get cleaned up. Okay, do have to retreat.
Yeah, I think even if it's just these little hit-and-run tactics where Dragazord trades some vultures, gets some kills here and there, like comfortable just doing that, because that CC for a Legacy Hero up at the front still lifted up, and there's a mine underneath it, so he's gonna have to clear that before they can actually do anything about it. But I don't see any academies, so no scan quite yet for Legacy Hero.
It is building, but it only just started.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite a while away. See Legacy Hero trying to poke out a little bit with these vultures, get some vision, try to deflect some of the stuff with that siege tank up at the high ground. But you just see more stuff being rallied from Dragonzord, worker count still going up, and adding on some more factories here. It doesn't look like they want to be going for a late game. We're not seeing armories getting added or anything. Just Dragonzord wants to start muscling through.
Mine, okay, does get taken out. Yeah, once siege mode is up, you can actually defend against these mass groups of vultures. He's going to try and come in again. Okay, it does lay some mines this time. Oh, and they will go off. How did that... Okay, I was going to say how did that tank live, but it did not use the time it had left wisely. This is like, you know, you got terminal cancer or something, you overcame it, and then you just, you know, just run into a minefield. That's basically what that tank did.
Yeah, we're seeing Dragonzord's just sending more stuff across. Now it's not just vultures. There's some siege tanks on the way as well. Siege mode done for Dragonzord as well, so should be able to keep muscling through. But Legacy here doing that classic TVT thing. What if I only build tanks and only defend? Seems like it's a reasonable spot to go here. Sieging pretty far forward. Still needs to clear that mine to actually land the CC and try to get the economy back going. Comstat finally
is coming up.
Yeah, finally going down. So hopefully this will be the move to get it done. But look at Dragonzord's army still rallying stuff over, setting up right on that high ground outside of natural. It might not be a problem right away, but it's definitely going to be a problem later.
Yeah, this position is very difficult to break, especially with these mines in front of it. Of course, you can clear them with siege tank range for your attack. But honestly, the best way to do this is if you pull a bunch of SCVs and bust. But unfortunately, Legacy Hero has basically no SCVs to use, and he's not really producing anymore. So I'm not sure how he's going to get out of this. Dragonzord is not expanded again. He's still just on 2 bases, but he is producing quite a bit out of those. So I think he's going to be able to hold this contained, but we're not sure where this is going to go from there.
Well, I think Dragonzord realizing they're going to need something to help break this through, opting into starting to get Wraith production underway. Because there's no turrets here.
Vultures getting baited in. Unfortunate. 3 vultures going down for free there. Nice scans going down for Dragonzord.
It's just such a rough spot for Legacy Hero. Can't really get the worker count up. You see that CC finally got landed here, but still needs to start producing out of it. And you can't feel super comfortable with this, that there's no buildings to help slow things down. You just got some tanks, and most of them down at the bottom aren't even sieged. Like, I feel like Legacy Hero, while finally taking that step forward with the Dragonzord, keeps sending things across the map. But especially whenever that Wraith gets there, it's going to be so hard to like hold it whatever position you have.
Oh, yeah. Does he have an armory? Oh, he does not. So you can't even make the lives. Now, you can repair a tank indefinitely versus 1 Wraith, but we don't know if more are going to show up. What was I going to say? Yeah, the thing is, as long as Dragonzord doesn't take a third, there's still hope. Because they're just 2 bases, 2 base, and Link Zero can always make more SCVs. So I don't know if Dragonzord just sits here on 2 bases for the whole time. It's always possible. Oh, that poor tank. He's trying to go anywhere he can.
This unit is so bad. It's gonna tickle to death. 7 damage a hit. This is like, oh man, I feel a little bit bad for Terrence to have to deal with a raid like this. Like, look at it. It's doing nothing. It's doing 100% of nothing constantly.
It'll get there. Oh no, these tanks, they're getting a bit too far forward. Okay, I guess they're not in range. Oh, yep, they are. Spoke too soon.
I mean, this is the biggest thing I like about this raid. It's going to slowly pick down this tank line, but it does give the vision so the tanks in the back can actually start attacking. Dragonzord finally sending an SCV to 12 o'clock, looking like they might want to be starting third, but look at all these tanks. Look at this army from Dragonzord right outside. And we got one raid just slowly chipping away, but the Doom army is just kind of waiting for the walls to break open.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many tanks here for Dragonzord now. I think we're not far away from him being able to unsiege and just come forward here. These tanks on the high ground are formidable, but the Wraith can help pick those up. Pick those off, rather.
Yeah, a little unfortunate that we're seeing without the armory. Finally, second Wraith coming through, speeding this up a little bit. But with no armory, and you see the eBay's done, but I don't see the any turrets under production. Finally one, but with 2 Wraiths here, they could see it. They should be able to stop that SCV from actually producing anything. So I don't think this is going to be working out too well here. One of the Wraiths attacking the
turrets are all well
though.
and good, but you really need Goliaths because, you know, they can move. Turrets can't.
I mean, at this point, I think like Zero will take anything, not just slowly lose the tanks he has to a couple Wraiths, just shooting little tickle lasers at it. So.
See, this is the problem with just trying to build turrets too. You just pick up the SCVs. You know, if a Goliath comes out, it's ready. You know, it's like a lamb. It's born ready to walk. You know.
Yeah, big unsiege from Dragonzord, looking like finally want to make that
Ooh,
move
here we
go
go.
forward. The Wraiths see how many tanks are up at the high ground, so sees that it's not too bad. Giant siege up at the front.
Oh my gosh.
Still taking some free damage, but just not enough. His tanks being able to get taken out and control at the bottom, but I think Dragonzord just has control of the game as Legacy Hero taps out.
GG. GHG, good heckin' game.
Sure.
I assume that's what he meant.
Yeah, that's what that means.
For sure. Not a typo at all. I guess Legacy Hero also, I was gonna say, like, also practicing the GG and stay in the game like that other game we were watching.
There we go. That's okay. TVT definitely a hard one, but that's one of those things that anyone a little bit newer to StarCraft are trying to work on their things, especially mirrors. Like losing worker production, having a build that's a little less optimized, that snowballs out of control so quickly. And you saw how big the advantage Dragonzord got, even with the attacks not doing anything. Like he tried to do fancy vulture micro and things, it didn't really accumulate to anything. But the worker lead was so quick. You saw everything just being built so much faster for Dragonzord that game.
Yeah, cannot emphasize enough that you should just be using workers 100% of the time, and if you're new, just don't ever think about stopping.
That seems reasonable. In the top right, Starborn Hero gonna get a second chance. Maybe just TVT is not the matchup. He's the green Terran in the top right, and the bottom right we got User in the purple Zerg. So different matchup, maybe something a little more familiar. Because I would assume, I mean, you're the higher MMR, so maybe it's different for you, but I would assume TVT is not a popular thing you see on the ladder very much.
No, which makes me sad, because people have this attitude or perception that, like, it's boring or, like, too hard or something, so they don't even try. But that's just a self-fulfilling prophecy to me. Because people dodge it, it's hard, and you don't enjoy it. Whereas I think if people just got stuck in it, tried it, it would be fine. But you are right.
I mean,
there's this thing that goes on where people just avoid playing it.
You can play chess whenever you want, dude. Like, if you want to play that slow positional game, you can just play chess.
We play chess, but whoever like moves their piece fastest gets to have a turn. You know, that's what TBT is. Yeah, imagine chess, and you could make like I don't know, 2 moves per second or something, and like other than that, there's like no limit on like who goes first or anything. You're just like trying to move your stuff around. That's what TBT is.
I mean, hey, if you like it, I'm not going to judge you for that. Now, we are seeing a little bit of an interesting opening from User. 9 pool, there's that gas. So, like what I was saying,
I like it.
I feel like I've been seeing it a little bit more for like recently, especially on Polypoid. I don't really understand it, but 9 pool speed and stuff like this, you can see Starborn not walling at the front. This is Danger Town for sure.
I think User's my new favorite Zerg. But yeah, I like Starborn's opening a bit more though. The SCV's pumping out pretty solidly right now. Well, let's see, that was Legacy Hero just now. This is Starborn Hero. It's like he's had his superhero, rebirth or whatever.
Yeah, yes.
And you don't necessarily what you want for 9-pool. And on this position, you can't do a link-proof wall. So this barracks position is fine. All you need to do is hold the ramp of SCVs. The problem is you have to scout it. And he only sent one SCV. He's not sending a second one. If you want to be perfectly safe, you have to send a second SCV when your first one arrives and doesn't find the zone. So user's going to see where Terran is with this Overlord, and the links are going to come straight there. And I don't know, if Starborn Hero has some great micro, you can still potentially survive, but without blocking the ramp, it's very tricky.
I mean, we've seen user. This build definitely thought out and planned. Got enough gas to get that lane speed on the way. Then pull some drones out of the gas, get some minerals up. Still slowly going to build up, looking like they want to get that second hatchery sometime soon, increase the larva count. But you see that Lucky first Overlord got to see where Starborn is, and Link's already on the way. Nothing blocking the ramp, and actually one Marine trying to shoot down the Overlord, going out very far in a dangerous position. This is not what you want to see.
It's called its buddies. Oh, rip Marine. Do you think that Overlord thinks it's lucky? He probably thinks the unlucky one getting found by a Marine getting shot at. Oh, but see, this is where it gets too tough for Terran, because, yeah, you can't keep those Marines alive. Now, in the middle line, the SCVs can fight, but they're just going about their business right now. Okay, they do get pulled now, but the Marine does fall. User trying to run away. A lot of SCVs getting trapped here. Great surround by Starborn. Actually takes out almost all the Lings. This looks pretty good for Terran right now, but he needs to keep producing Marines and SCVs, which he's not doing, and more Lings constantly rallying. Second hatchery has not gone down yet. I didn't see if that SCV blocked it or what happened there.
Yeah, not quite sure. It looks like the drone was being pulled back a little bit. Some more Lings getting in the mix, and now back to 5. But now they got Link speed. Micro's going to be a lot better. Starborn trying to keep producing Marines, but I mean, you could just camp that barracks and shut things down. Gonna go for the gas and slow things down. Users taking whatever safe damage they can manage while the more Lings getting rallied across the map. So I like that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see this, that Starborn got this like super fast academy. I mean, if he lives long enough, that would be kind of OP because he can make 5 ads. But unfortunately, the Marines just get taken out. Speedlings will do that. They just run in, rip them apart, run out. You can't do anything about it. Getting a bunker up. If you can get a Marine in there, it will be pretty strong. But how many Lings are already out?
Yeah, user not committing quite to the attack. SCV's trying to pull back, just try to defend things. Surrounding the barracks is what I want to see. So that things pop out. They're just in a really troublesome
that
spot.
Marine, he spawned in the worst spot. I don't know if it was deliberate, but users Lings formed like a perfect vessel for the Marine to die in. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he did that on purpose. A lot of SCVs falling now.
I mean, we'll see. This is such big damage from user, and you can see back at home, still having that next step, the hatchery on the way.
Oh, he gets in the bunker. Stim is done, by the way, so if you can unload the Stim, it'll have more TPS. Oh, but the Academy is undefended by this bunker.
Yeah, this is still a lot of SCV damage going down with the second hatchery on the way. I mean, user hasn't been adding on a bunch more stuff. You see, oh, the Marine stepping out of the bunker trying to get bold here, but I don't know if I like that.
The SCVs! The SCVs almost betrayed him, you know?
And Star tapping out, understandable, taking a lot of damage here, but this is just a rough situation. If you see Lings in your base this early, do you just recommend just get the bunker up as fast as you can? If you're
no, I don't like getting a bunker at all. No, because like we saw, Zerg can just avoid it and go attack somewhere else. It's just more minerals you're putting in. Hey, by the way, the Zerg didn't leave that replay for a long time. I was sitting there watching him just killing the bunkers.
Yeah, I just
maybe after his opponent leaves, he takes the satisfaction of killing each and every building.
I mean, I respect that. You play for the mental game. Make yourself enjoy the win as hard as possible. I get that. Take the victory lap.
So if you're up against 4-pool, I guess you can do that because it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you don't die. But against 9-pool, it's well, okay, if you make a bunker and Zerg's just droning and there's 6 things in your base, they can avoid the bunker and pick off a depot or gas or whatever. It's not going to work out. You need to just keep making Marines and SCVs, try and chase them around. But honestly, once they get in your base with the first 6 Lings, you're pretty doomed in most cases.
That seems reasonable. Hopefully this game goes a little bit differently. In the top right, we got Dragon Sword, the blue Terran. Changed up the color, but still playing the same race. He's in the top right. And in the bottom right, we got Rana Storm in that nice, that crisp magenta per us. So, PvT, fun matchup. 4-player map especially, where you can be aggressive if you want to. The base layout's good. You can have to make the choice of how greedy you want to be for gases. Pros can just expand everywhere if they want to. So I feel like there's definitely a lot of past this matchup can go on Polypoint. So I'm excited to see where this goes from here, and what kind of builds we're seeing from both players. We've seen Dragonzord though in these games kind of gear up for like a reasonably strong early army, go for a push. We saw it in TV and the TVZ, so I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a 2-factory opener or something as well.
Yeah, it's very good in TVP. In general, I think the Dragonzord just having really solid builds. He's getting a wall off, which to me says maybe he will be doing 2-fact. But then again, at this level of play, I think wall off is just popular in general against those zealots.
Yeah, it makes me sad every time I see it. I love just sending the zealot in. He just wants to say hi. He wants to high-five all your workers. You're doing a good job. Like, you don't need the wall.
He's high-fiving too hard with both hands.
Like, we're playing a video game. You don't need the social distance in the game. Like,
right, so he's going to come over there and slap you.
All right, we're seeing from.
Yeah, can we have a new rule? Lings have to social distance.
Yeah.
They can't actually attack.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think we can go with that one. Zealots don't have to. The Zealots should just hug. It's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they do too.
Have you seen their face? There's no mouth. They're wearing a mask.
That's true. That's true. Actually, no mouth, no nose. That's pretty good.
And then same thing with the Marines. They're wearing helmets. They can hang out.
No, but no. Look at their portrait. They have the visor up. They have to back off to look at their back on.
Okay. I think that's all right. See both players.
Are there any Terran units that have their face equipment on? Is this a full wall? I don't think this is. I think Zealots can get in the bottom. I could be wrong though. Honestly, I've never walled the ramp on Polypoid. Never done it.
You know the rhymes, man. You have to
well,
understand
the depot and the
one.
barracks are in the appropriate position, but what the rhymes don't help you with is the specific map knowledge. So I don't know if there's space between that barracks and the bottom. It certainly looks like there is.
Yeah, I'm definitely more.
I think Dragonzord's testing it. No, oh, okay, it's been another depot there. Well, if a zealot is made, we shall see.
I suppose so. Now, I do like that what we're seeing from Storm, the build a little more what you're expecting to see. We saw in the other one, it was like that early pylon, maybe looking for some kind of really early gate shenanigans, but all the stuff we saw from Ron this game, normal kind of gateway timing, normal cyber core, normal gas, so doing something a lot more meta for this matchup instead, so it makes me think maybe just trying to do something cheeky because they weren't practiced for the matchup. But we see that probe moving around, didn't get into the base to start scouting anything. And every time I see a probe just kind of hanging out and not doing anything, it makes me think that there's the chance for some kind of proxy tech to get some shenanigans going, which is always super fun to watch regardless if I think it's particularly strong or not.
Wait a minute, is that depot and barracks actually touching? Are they like a full tile apart? I can't actually tell.
It looks like there's a gap, but it's Brood War, so I'm never sure. I'm never gonna hard commit to that.
Me either. Oh my god. When you play 10,000 hours, can you finally tell if there's a tile gap or not? People in chat are probably like, obviously there is, or obviously there is.
Hey, look at that pylon over at that 3 o'clock base. Like I said, that probe stayed on the map, but didn't want to show, didn't want to risk dying when it went to scout. So I do think there is that opportunity. Now, if you're Dragonzord and you're paying the attention, though, your SCV saw the probe at the top left when you guys were trying to scout around and find the bases, and that probe never went to your base. That's red flags all over the place. If the
he killed the Ursidon! Oh my god. I'm on Dragonzord's side now.
He's proxying something. There's no nice build that ProS is doing here. No nice and honorable build with this right here. So of course he's gonna kill the Ursidon.
My god. Look, I don't view proxying as inherently evil, but I do view killing the Ursidon as inherently evil. But interestingly, he's just making 3 gates there, so I think he's just gonna make a crap ton of goons and just come in. Basically, is what he's doing here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like this, because one of the things that's gonna happen here, without scouting, you're really blindly playing in dark. I hope he's not doing siege expand, because if you get that 1 siege tank on the high ground, that's enough to shut down, period.
So you're on the side of the guy who killed the Ursidon, is what you're telling me.
No, I'm
yeah,
not.
he did get mines first, but look, if you can get mines down in front of here, you can kill a lot of goons with that.
Trust me, I don't want to kill the Urson either. It's cuter in Carbot than it is in the regular skin, so it's
So why are you saying it's unfortunate then if the Ursidon killer loses?
Well, I'm just saying that there's no scouting information. I'm trying to build a story here. Why are you poking holes in my story? Oh man, Neblime, he's coming back and forth. This is 2021, new Neblime. We're not having fun anymore. We're just calling out players, calling them Ursidon murderers.
Yeah, if you kill an Ursidon, I will call you out straight up. Oh, they're advancing, but watch out for these mines.
Definitely gotta be careful of the mines. Dragoon's taking only shield damage, no real hull. One Marine trying to poke out and chase a little bit further, but I mean, you got a couple vultures here. You got the bunker full of Marines, so I think things are okay as Dragonzord sets up this CC. I would feel nervous as Storm because whenever I see vultures, they're poking out. If they can just run around and get some stuff done, always feels a bit dangerous. But we are seeing a lot of Dragoons from those gateways over on the right side. Still no Nexus. Looks like no particular plan to move forward. This is one thing, if you're going to try stuff like this with all these gateways, you got to be very on top of making sure your pylon production keeps up so you don't get supply blocked. Because this definitely is the kind of build that you better be doing damage. And even a robotics facility going down, Rana is definitely committed to whatever one base play is going to be. I've never seen anything like it. So, we'll see if it works.
Unfortunate that Dragonzord just continuing to make vultures. I mean, the mines kind of hard counter this as long as they're down before the goons get in there, but like, once an observer comes out, vultures aren't going to help you, basically. Oh, but Rana's coming in here. Oh, huge mine hit. Oh, there's more. Oh, Jesus, that was like 4 goons from one mine, but they do outrange the bunker. I mean, how many goons do you really need left over, really? Oh, okay, more than this. You need more than this. I think Dragons will be able to clean this up, actually, if Rana doesn't run away.
I mean,
more goons popping out.
Yeah, more getting routed in from that 3 o'clock base. Fast reinforcements given that proxy location, so definitely a little bit favorable. Getting the good micro there to disarm that one mine, so as long as they're not too sloppy and take too much free damage from here. Finally a tank going out, but I don't remember seeing siege mode getting finished, so it's still just some vultures.
Started for that matter. He got vulture speed instead. There's still some mines down here though. This is the thing, can Rana actually just produce enough Dragoons just to ignore these mines before siege mode is out? I think it could be possible. It depends how aggressive Rana wants to be. Still no Nexus. Oh, big hit there.
Reasonable attempt here, but remember, with all these gateways, Dragoons are going to get routed very quickly. There is a robotics that's done, but the observatory I don't think got started yet. So,
well, you know, a shuttle alone would actually be kind of useful if you just elevate her into the main. What's Terran going to do about it?
I am just a little bit concerned here because you can see Dragonzord, as they build time, they can start building up a tank out, try to stabilize here. Ronstorm's still not taking a Nexus, and Dragonzord's been on 2 bases for a significant amount of time.
Oh, he scans that there's no expansion, so this might prompt him to just go for more tanks, get an eBay, that kind of thing. He's laying more mines defensively here. Yeah, I don't see Protoss getting in here. Oh, another mine hit. Mines are just so strong.
Yeah, definitely just a rough situation for Rana, though. Clearing out some of the mines, some of the units at the front. Siege mode not done yet, nearing completion. Still a little bit away here. Some of these tanks gotta be very careful. If the Protoss wanted to be bold, they could actually probably go and kill these, move forward, because that bunker's burning. There's nothing in it though. All the Marines that were out and got killed earlier. The more factories.
Well, here's a replacement. See if he gets in it before it burns down.
Yeah.
So now siege mode's done though with the mines in front. I think Goons alone are kind of the worst unit to try and attack this kind of position.
Yeah, that one tank on that high ground is all I would need to not want to be committed to attack anymore.
Well, hey man, if you proxy 3 gate Goon, I think 1 tank alone would stop you.
Well, I think you'd be a little more aggressive here. Storm realizing maybe not going to be ending the game here. Going for that Nexus finally. Still significantly more high, but if you actually look at the work count, it's not as bad as it probably could have been. The observatory is done, so we can start making observers, but man, if you lose control of that 3 o'clock base and you lose all this production, that's going to feel so bad here. And with the way it's built, it's blocking the Nexus, so it's not like it's going to be a useful base later. It's just very risky building place that Ron's going to have to be careful to protect for the rest of the game.
Well, Dragonzord doesn't actually know about it yet. He's been scanning around, but he hasn't found that particular spot. You know, when Zealots die, they're sent... Oh, whoops, June. They're sent to become a Goon, which is like sort of a hell for them, right? Because they can't run around like they used to. When Dragoons die, they get sent to attack this base. Oh, this is Dragoon hell. Like, there's no way. Like, there's just so many mines.
I mean,
I think Rana wisely is not going to attack them.
Observer is finally going to be out on the map, so going to be able to slow us down. But so many siege tanks now. Like, even if you get the
he's going in
mines,
the
no,
mines.
Please, Rana.
Oh, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my god.
All
That
right.
was just a massacre.
I don't know what I was gonna say anymore because the storyline just changed. It's like you can't tell like a beautiful story. I'm crafting an opportunity for the pros to get back in, but all the actors died. It's like there's a no-show. Now look at the Vultures run through, realize like, oh, this next is
Yeah,
done. There's
I
no
have a story
workers.
for you. Once upon a time, there was a probe mining some minerals, and then the big bad vultures came and killed them all in like 3 seconds. The end.
Why are you starting by 2021 like this? You're so feisty today. What happened today? Are you in a good mood? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, this is what I look for to seeing the probes blow up. This is great. Oh, on the mines! The goons can't do anything. Oh, brutal.
And you're making me run the stream. Like I gotta do the observing. I have to like very attentively watch the rest.
That's
of this
right.
game.
Zoom in on it. Zoom in on it. I
No,
want you
no,
to
I'm
watch
not
them die.
zooming in on it.
GG.
Hey, you're such a bully, but not quite the bully that Dragonzor is. Walking in with a million vultures doing critical damage. Ron's trying to go for a really strong one-base play, but this is the danger of doing that in this matchup. It's easy for Terrence to defend that and survive, even if they have to like lift the CC and like give it up. Like you'll eventually get the tanks and the upgrades. You'll be able to get to the next step at some point. So,
Well, that's just the thing. I think if Terran commits to trying to defend the low ground, you just have like more goons than he expected. You kill everything there before he can secure the ramp. You can win that way. But yeah, I think he needed to get in earlier. Basically, you need to be hitting that bunker before mines is finished, so vultures can't place the mines in front of it.
yeah. I just wonder if there's maybe a little bit of that background story. Did Ron come from StarCraft 2's like, oh man, I don't know what build to do. 4-gate works awesome. We'll just go for that. Definitely an interesting build. Not sure about the choice in that one, but it's cool to watch. We got another game going in the top right. Legacy Hero coming back for more. He's in that blue Terran. And then over in the top left, Red Zerg. It's Red Fake Fan. Finally getting that color, matching the name. Looking appropriate.
At last, this is his moment. Did he win the other one? I forget. No, he didn't, did he? So he can do it now.
Yeah, although the build did look pretty reasonable from Fake Fan, it was just losing the mutas when he went into the main. He took a lot of free damage and taking some bad fights. It's not like the build or strategy choice was really the problem. And from what we've seen from the other games, Legacy Hero a little less crisp than Dragonzord on some of this stuff. So we'll see how this one goes. If Fake Fan goes for the 2-hatch muta, I think Legacy Hero will have a much harder time dealing with it.
Yeah, well, I will say one thing about like 2-hatch muta or even just muta builds in general. Unlike most of StarCraft, you really do have to get that micro down to win. Because the mutalists themselves are really not very good unless you're doing like intensive muta micro. And Fake Fin is doing a bit, but really you just need to like, anytime they're fighting, you need to be going in and out like that. You can't just have the main moving like you did towards the end. So I don't know. It depends what he's up against. And you know, last time, whoever his opponent was, I forget, was it Dragonzord, just kind of got away with the eBay first and had this like tremendous advantage. But we'll see if that happens again.
Yeah, I mean, that's why like 2-hatch muta is so exciting to watch, especially if you're like watching ASL, you're watching the pros, and it's like, oh man, they have like so much APM they can handle doing all this stuff. But that's one of those things you gotta think about. You look at that build, it's like it's really strong, but it's strong because of what they're doing, not just because the units are great. Which mutas are great, like don't get me wrong, but yeah, it is the micro that's enabling them to be strong enough to justify a build like that compared to what you would see back in the day. You know, that 3-hatch muta that has a little more muscle to it, a little less micro intensive.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I would have said in the past Terran were less adept at combating mutalisks. Because at least at first, Terrans didn't, you know, realize that they could put the pressure on the bio and force the mutalist not to be home. And obviously, like eBay first builds, you know, were kind of developed after mutalist micros invented, I believe, too. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting that in the recent times, the 2-hatch muta just micro-intensive style has become popular again.
Well, I think it's just like a evolution of like if you think about like back in the day, it was still like, oh, the game's been around for 10 years back then, but and now it's like we're past 20 years, and it's just, you have all this time to refine all these things. These people have been playing the game forever, and it's just like at some point you just get better and better with all the executions. You can start finding things and just seeing things just like that weren't popular back then, or maybe weren't at least as stable, but now they are. Like even think about like in PvZ, like how much more popular Gateway Expand is now compared to it was back in like the Kespa days.
True. Although, you know, if you go too far back, it's like, okay, 2 gates in my base, we're playing PvZ. Honestly, like most of it was the maps. I think 'cause the maps back then was so ridiculous.
Definitely a part of it for sure. But we haven't really been talking about the strategy choices we're seeing from these players.
Oh, I didn't see this CC. Okay. I will say, if you're going to build a CC in your base, you should build it as close to the cliff as possible so you have to fly less far to get to the other base.
Yeah, this is not quite what you want to be doing here. The building flies speed is very slow, and especially in something like this, I don't think you'd really be it's not like this is part of a wall or helping anything defensive. If any lings like got in the base right now, this would be causing a real problem. But Fake Fin...
Well, it looks like there's only 2 made, though, and 2 is really not a threatening number. I mean, maybe for Protoss it is, but for Terran it's not.
Man.
I mean, tell me, you get 2 lings in your base, that's pretty bad, right?
2 is not as bad. More than 2, I start getting worried. Like 2,
Okay.
you can start kind of thinking about it. We see Fake
Oh,
Fin...
this Overlord, he's heading into the danger zone right now. Uh-oh.
Yeah, a little unfortunate if Legacy sees
Okay,
it.
turns around. I think he'll make it. If that other Overlord survived, then, you know, I think this one will make it too.
The Overlord does see the CC flying in, though, so it gets that knowledge that there's a very quick expansion
Nice.
here. Second barracks getting added on. You see a refinery starting to mine gas very slowly, but no tech on the way just yet. No academy in production, no eBay or anything. Meanwhile, Fakefin back at home on that 2 base, getting that lair, which is about halfway done. And
Ooh, the 2 lings. The 2 lings, how dangerous are they? They're heading in.
the Marines weren't at the ramp, though. The lane's going to be able to get in. At least they're going to be able to get a free scout. They got speeds, should be able to dart around as much as they want. And eBay on the way, getting some free SUV kills, so this is the kind of thing...
Well, is it free if they die in return?
I mean...
Okay, one of them keeps going, but I think these Marines will take it out, yeah. I don't know, 2 lings for 1 SUV, isn't that just like an even trade?
I mean, the links are already on the map. Getting the knowledge is really what you want to see.
Yeah, that was a great scout.
Saw the eBay being built, saw the lack of the academy, so that's what I did. Fakefin decided that those 2 links did their job quite well, sending just 2 more, believes in them to do their hardest.
If it worked one time. It's alright. Now, Fakefin's lair was quite late here, but Legacy Hero banking up a lot of money here, and his academy only just starting. So I think Fakefin actually has the edge build-wise here. Turret's going up already a bit preemptively, but he will need them eventually. Oh, 2 lings not enough this time.
Yeah, I think that's okay, though. Legacy just erring a little bit on the side of safety. Getting the +1 weapon upgrade, so looking like they're planning to go for the next step instead of trying to rush anything crazy and sending some SUVs. But like we were seeing some of the games before, a little bit of problems with the worker production when Fakefin is up on workers, and in this matchup, that's never really what you want to be seeing.
Well, you know the rhyme, right? Supply is the same, Zerg wins the game. You're gonna need more workers to get more units.
Is 2021 a rhyme-free zone? Can we do that?
No, it's not.
Can I be like a Can I be like a subscriber incentive? Like we get like subscriber goal, you have to stop for a day.
We're not even partner though, are we?
You can subscribe. It's right there.
Oh, okay. All right. If someone subscribes for $50, then I'll stop using rhymes for a month. That's the deal.
I gotta think about.
Oh, the 2 lings sneaking back in here. Oh, look at that! Very nice, sneaking in when the Marines are away. But they're a bit shy. They're not confident. Did you see that? They went back and forth.
They're doing damage to this turret. Like the repairs go down, but the Marines aren't gonna be here in time. This turret's actually gonna go down at 2 lings. So fantastic job from Fakefin, believing so hard in these 2 lings to do your thing. Trap back at home, but I mean, Legacy Heroes Army looking about what you're looking for. A decent amount of Marines, couple medics popping out, upgrades on the way.
Complete.
I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing it in the production, so...
I don't think so, but we'll see. Oh, Fakefin going for +1 air, by the way, so he's committing to these middleists hard, and 6 are on the way. There's technically a turret in the main, but that's not enough. And, you know, one thing about having not very many SCVs, also, once middleists start picking them off, that becomes even worse. So, I'm a bit concerned that if Legacy Hero doesn't have Stim... Okay, no, he doesn't have Stim, it's working on it now. If these middleists come in the main, I feel like a lot of damage could go down. So far, Fakefin's just reserving them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an opportunity. Just not a lot of turret protection. this might be one of those games you learn the hard way how important it is, especially to put turrets over your production buildings. Because if you're in that kind of situation where you can't get things going, but actually Legacy Hero going for a little bit of an interesting build, actually adding on 2 factories, so maybe some kind of little biomech thing want to lean into something else. But I don't see an armory on the way to build Goliaths, so curious to see what the plan's going to be from here. Fakefin does have their third base on the way, and with the Spire completed, lots of mutas being added up here. I think just waiting for that like critical amount where you get that one full group. Although Lex here scans it, sees the mutas, and Fakefin decides, well, I guess I'm gonna go now then. And
that was his trigger. Just wait until your opponent sees them for the maximum surprise. Not heading over to the Terra base yet though. And we do see Legacy Hero pull back his bio immediately. I think worried about those mutas coming home. But yeah, this double factory is very interesting. Maybe he's going to like double pump tanks. Obviously, if Fakefin keeps making Mutalisks, that's not going to help. But if he does switch into Lurker, I don't know, suddenly you have like 7 tanks or something. Could be brutal.
Yeah, you can see the build that Legacy here is going for. Not really going to help out too much. Adding on 2 machine shops, so looking like going for a lot of Marines and tanks. Which, that's not what you're going to be wanting here. You can see there's just not a lot of turrets. Good amount of mutas. They skip by the natural. They don't care. They're going into main to find it. They're only going to find 1 turret and no bio here. Big damage about to happen to Fake.
Yeah, that 1 turret alone does nothing, and these SCVs getting cleared out so quickly. The bio is trying to chase him down. Oh, but it's coming in a bit piecemeal. No turret to back them up. They're not that good, but Fakefin does pull back, tries to just keep the Mutalisks alive. +1 air weapon's not quite done yet. Oh, flies over some more bio. Okay, doesn't even lose any.
But you see the bio getting pulled apart here, finding a couple stragglers, a couple rally points, and if Fakefin wants to keep putting pressure on, he definitely could. Back at home, look, more mutas being made, so there's 3 more at home. So over that first control group, and I think that might be an indicator that you have to respect if they go for more, but some Hydras on the way, and the Hydra's then done, so it might be just that switch to Lurkers and going into, you know, that normal kind of thing you see from Zerg where they get hive tech, start working towards Defilers, while Legacy Hero is going to have to rebuild what they lost.
Yeah, we have a 3rd factory here. So really planning some big commitment to mech here. Yeah. But again, these Mutalisks are going to kind of stymie that if he doesn't get an armory. Like, you can't shoot up.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the big thing. It's like, if you get an armory, you can start going to Goliath. I think it helps a bit, but this Marine tank, not that it's a weak army or anything, but definitely dangerous. You're just going back in at the natural, and the bio's not here. It's just 2 turrets, which are both already taken down. And Fakefin be able to control this, make sure they're not taking too much damage from these Marines. If they just stem, they can drain that medic energy. I think Fakein's very happy to take that trade.
How did no Marines die there? What? He has +1 air and no Marines died when those mutas attacked. But yeah, Legacy here in a precarious position here, hiding onto this cliff, and Lewis can potentially get good swipes. So Fakefin not being as F into that at this moment. Looks like he's teching Lurkers at home. And, you know, Legacy here is having trouble just stabilizing against these Mutalisks. If a bunch of Lurkers suddenly show up, that can just end the game.
It's just one of those situations where you're a Terran player. It's like you've been taking damage from these mutas, you don't have a lot of turrets, you shouldn't feel comfortable moving out, and you're trying to build into some kind of tech transition with all these factories. Like, you just gotta feel like you gotta be so defensive here. And Fakefin, if they want to take more bases, they want to tech aggressively, I think they can do whatever they want here and not get taken out. And the choice is going to be to do more speed damage at that natural. The Marines, again, too far forward to help deflect that right away. Fakefin, though, getting a little greedier this time, ended up going into the main and going to try to get as much damage as possible done. This is tragic for Legacy Hero. Look how many SCVs are being killed.
Yeah, for sure. And again, only a single turret there. You know, it's kind of hard for Legacy to afford too many with the SCV counter so low. I mean, they're reaching a point where soon it's going to be 0 SCVs. I don't know if it's possible for them to come back from that. A lot of Mulas getting taken out, though. The bio is suddenly shredding them. Oh, damn, that's a lot of damage. Well, maybe that's the kills he needed. Maybe he can stabilize now, but he's down to 7 SCVs and doesn't really look inclined to make more. So I'm not sure where he goes from here.
Yeah,
you know, if Fakefin just makes like 20 Lurkers and Legacy Hero shows up with like 10 tanks, that might actually go pretty well.
I mean, it would definitely be a little bit difficult. Comsets are around, so that'll help, but you gotta, like, this worker count got plummeted so difficultly here, and you see Fakefin going down to the bottom left. Is going to start that next base on the way. More mutas being produced as well, so actually kind of committed to Mutalisks and Lurker staying on Hive, this Lair Tech instead of moving up towards Hive. And I think Faithfin, like, he had mutas in the base. He should have realized how much damage he'd done. Having the lurkers back at the natural being really defensive here, I'm a little surprised to not see more pressure being put on while Lazy Hero is kind of in shambles and struggling to regroup.
Yeah, well, this is like the other game there. We see Fake Fin banking a huge amount up while he's busy microing. So that kind of gives a bit of scope for a comeback here. Because, as much money as Legacy Hero is missing out on because of dead ACBs, that's as much money as Fake Fin is not spending because spending APM on Mutalists instead.
We're going to see another attack from the mutas. 9 going in. A couple turrets got made around, but just one turret's not going to be enough to help defend this. And again, no army here to help deflect this as well. No turrets covering production. This is the kind of thing you have to really be worried about. Especially as you can see Legacy Heroes army coming back in. Faithfin taking some damage, but using the ability should be able to find some opportunities to get some more damage. And the SCV count plummeting even further. Down to 6 now, trying to get that number as low as possible. And Faithfin doing big damage here, but still overcommitting to these fights over the Marines, taking way more damage than he ever should be in these situations.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, he only had like 9 Mutalists. He killed 2 tanks there and a bunch of other stuff. I think it's still worth it, especially now that he's on 3 base, taking a 4th. A lot of idle trades in that third.
I mean, honestly, even if the trade was terrible, that's still worth it. If you keep knocking down someone with this few workers down, you keep resetting, making sure they're not taking extra base, making sure there's no attack heading your way. Like, Faithfin could be taking terrible trades here and be feeling good just with the amount of bank they have and the fact that it's 4 bases 2. Look at that worker count. It's 32 to single digits for the Terran. Like, and you can see Faithfin up almost 50 supplies. So really, he's in control. And as long as he keeps putting pressure on, unless you like lose everything really badly, like losing a couple mutas there in the middle of the map to some bio walking at you, like Faithfin's just gotta not be overly careless, but being aggressive here feels like the right move.
I just feel like there's still potential for a push to come out just like a stupid number of tanks, because he has 3 factories. And like, if you're relying on lurkers alone, I don't know, tanks potentially do a lot. Like, you have one group of bio plus a whole bunch of tanks. It's very hard for lurkers to ever engage that. But you need a swarm, and the hive's not even started yet.
Yeah, the Queen's Nest just getting completed now. So hopefully Hive Tech on the way, but Faithfin setting up these other bases. No drones being made at some of these other ones. This is a good opportunity when you know you've done a lot of damage and your opponent can't feel comfortable moving out. That you can either get a lot of bases set up, get your infrastructure, or just drone up real hard, get that economy really pumping. So a little surprised that Faithfin's still leaning into all his army, trying to like get ready for a fight that he doesn't need to take necessarily, or he could be committing to like a fight a little bit better with the lurkers, having something to fight the ground instead of just sending in mutas, which that's probably the best thing the Legacy could hope for at this point, is just hoping the mutas keep coming on the way and flying over the stimmed bio.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he realizes how many lurkers and stuff Faithfin has at home. I mean, you were saying part of it is like Faithfin, he needs to just not be careless now, but at the same time, if he had all his forces like at the Terra Naturals, ran them into the Mulus, I think you could probably take him out.
I like this. I like this move though from Faithfin. That you're in a situation where everything feels comfortable. He's sending out some lings across the map, making sure that it isn't like Legacy having some sneaky hidden third base. And if you realize that Legacy is on 2 base with all the damage done, I expect something. Legacy Hero trying to get a little bold and actually move out here. The mutas and the Marines are going to fly past each other, and Meta getting picked off from back. So Legacy here gotta be careful. Doesn't want to lose a bunch of things. Faithfin trying to do micro, taking a whole bunch of free damage. Gonna cut back and kill some more SPs as the natural instead.
This Bioforce is like enough to fight these Mulus. Depends on the micro though. Or more Marines come down. But yeah, with no turrets to back them up, the Mulus can just abuse this cliff so hard. And yeah, more SCPs getting taken out. I mean, Legacy Hero has rebuilt a good amount. But yeah. I mean, I feel like Legacy Hero's time to move out is here because his economy is so much behind. He's trying to get something done with his tanks.
Legacy Hero moving down, going to kill that lane that's covering the 3 o'clock base, but that's the least of the concerns. You just coming in from Faithfin trying to fight, and again, just taking some free damage. Like, he's charging into the strongest point that Legacy Hero has, so these engagements are a little bit questionable, but I like that he's trying to keep putting pressure on. Hive Tech finally completed, but I don't see any actual Hive units, and given the bank, I think you're going to go for that classic move, Ultralisk, eventually, because you can just make so many.
Yeah, I guess with 4K, you could make a ridiculous number of Ultralisks. That is true. But for now, he's just making more lurkers. The bio's out here, but the tanks are all at home. But at least Legacy Hero is zoning off any lurkers from running into his natural also.
And finally, Ultralisk Cavern down at the bottom left getting started, and more hatcheries getting added on. So I think that will eventually be the move to go for these Ultralisks, slam things down. But it's not like there's been a big amount of armor upgrades or anything. It's currently 0 armor, so it's not like these Ultras are going to be super strong. One of the things Legacy Hero does have going for them, that they're at least got the 1-1 for the bio and should be able to keep up with that. Again, working more up towards that tech tree, starport finally getting started, so going to be able to get to that science facility and start working towards getting some irradiates, getting some better upgrades on the board. So maybe building this army up a little bit further, but still the worker count's such a bad spot for Legacy Hero, and I don't even know like where you're going to be able to take a third base, let alone recover into a mid game where Fake Fin's already just so far ahead.
Yeah, tank's coming out here though. Maybe he will push across the map here. I don't know if he's going to wait for a vessel. He does have some energy built up, but he only has 1 scanner, unfortunately. So if he's going to fight lurkers, he might need more. Burrow being researched for the Zerg as well. Not really sure what the plan is with that. But there you go. I guess he's going to burrow a bunch of lings. The thing is, when you've already got lurkers, is it really that useful? You could just be putting hold lurkers instead of whatever else you're going to.
I mean, it might be useful for counterattacks or just trying to set up some kind of flank, but if nothing else, having the burrow available for the drones in case there's some kind of move from the Terran, like a drop or something like that.
Yeah, true. Versus Razor, it is basically the hard counter.
Yeah, it could have some kind of opportunity. Finally seeing some of these upgrades, but look, it's just these moves flying into bio. Fakeman taking so much free damage, but at least gets a beat that Legacy Hero trying to move out a little bit further. We see the Mutas looking like they're going to go into the main. There is some more turrets here now.
Oh, no, they're not. They're waiting for something, my friend. They're waiting for the greatest fire. And then they'll go into the main with their new clothes.
Of course. Now, I can't really complain about the spot Fakeman's in. Built up a great lead. Doesn't want to be throwing it away like this. But I feel like this is the kind of game where you should, practice closing the game in a clean, consistent way instead of hanging around forever. Like, this is very overly cautious, and really, like, Hive Tech's been done. The only thing you would need at this point to close this game, get Dark Swarm. But there's no Defiler Mount even started.
He does have an Ultralisk Cavern. But yeah, I don't want to disparage the Guardians. If you did well with your Mutalistic Harass, but the game stabilized, Guardians can be very strong. Because, Terran's like barely holding on, and then suddenly they have to deal with this new threat. But at the same time, this tank push is continuing. I mean, if he morphs Guardians at the natural, that could potentially stop this kind of lean tank push as well. Okay, Legacy Hero moving on forward. Scans for hold lurkers. I like that scan. That's a really good scan because you expect Zerg to put some lurkers in your way.
I mean, honestly, just the army that Fakefin has here should be able to stop. There's 9 lurkers burrowed, so many overlords.
Well,
tons of ground.
I'm not so sure. If the tanks siege up and you stim as the lurkers try and run in, have you seen what Stim Marines can do? Guardians are morphing at the Terran natural though. I don't know. This army from Terran seems extremely formidable to me.
I mean, it's definitely formidable, but there's still just so much Zerg here back at home. And that's not including things that might be elsewhere on the map. You see a couple of Mutas trying to poke around, get some damage done. The tanks are sieged, but they're not actually chipping away anything and getting anything
He needs
done.
detection.
Yeah, this is one of the
There
great...
it goes.
Guardians are going to be moving into Terra National, so big damage is going to be done back at home. The enemy's not going to be there to help defend, so Fake Fin just got to defend what's happening as natural. Feel pretty good here. You see Legacy Hero moving very cautiously, doesn't want to be put into a bad spot here. Some Guardians being morphed as well, and when you have this little water area you can hang out over, you can start...
oh wow, the CC actually fell, by the way. It didn't lift, it just died.
Guardians of the Natural doing so much work, resetting more of that SCP count. Legacy Hero trying to move forward a little bit more.
Okay, and that's his last scan going down. The retrust in forward. Oh, but they're getting slaughtered by those Lurker Spines. Even Guardians being morphed to defend the Zerg Natural. I think that will clean this up. Those Guardians going to do the work.
Yeah, all the Marines are down. Now it's just down the siege tanks from a distance. And Legacy Hero realizing this one's over, going to tap out.
GG. I was kind of tense there at the end because I guess his base was slowly dying to Guardians, but if there were no Guardians to defend, I feel like he might have been able to slowly chip his way in there with tank.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely opportunities for both players to get more done or be a little more aggressive there. So think Legacy Hero, Starborn Hero. It just keeps changing names, but the strategy seems pretty reasonable that they want to kind of play this slower style, get in this comfortable spot. It's just about working up on getting the workers better, not taking big damage
Yeah,
early.
that's
And I think these
honestly
games
the
will look a
number one
lot
thing.
different.
In StarCraft, the thing that matters before anything else is just making workers constantly. If you're not doing that, everything else is irrelevant for sure.
Alright, now see, this is the mirror matchup. Mirror matchup for Kings. In the top right, it's Red Fake Fin. He's coming back for more. He's playing that Red Zerg. And in the top left, it's Gray Zerg. We got some ZBZ. Users coming back. See, this is something I like. This is like visceral. It ain't gonna be long. Like that era is gone. Great versus Hydra. Like we're not doing this hive tech ZVZ. We're gonna get down and dirty. 9 pools and like fast
Hey,
mutas. All this
9
kind
pool
of fun
gas, my
stuff.
favorite build. So, please, 1 hatch buta. It's beautiful.
Yeah, like I just love this kind of matchup because you have so few units. They all matter so much, and it's like
Yeah.
it's not like some of the other builds where you just be like, it has so much stuff. I don't have to micro. Just go back home and build. It's more effective. It's like, no, you have to micro this stuff. You only got 3 mutas. You only have like 8 lings or whatever. You have to micro, or you're gonna end up losing. We are seeing a little bit of a build deviation. It looks like Red Fake Fin back at home building an Overlord, so maybe an Overpool or something. But User going for that 9 pool. We've seen this other matchups, so. Liking the decision from User, wants to get that aggression, but unfortunately that scouting Overlord going the wrong direction. Won't know exactly where Fake Fin is right away.
Yeah, and Fake Fin will have that advantage, right? So it's going to be 9 pool gas. I'm rooting for User already. He's doing the best build there is. Fake Fin looks like he's going to go for a 12 hatch here. No, 12 pool it's going to be.
Definitely a good choice from Fake Fin. Seems like that's a pretty solid advantage. If you're willing to be defensive, you have lings up in time to defend against the 9 pool stuff, especially since you have that added 4-player map advantage. And the tech won't be too far behind either. As long as Fake Fin just feels comfortable being on the defensive side, this build definitely a good choice, and I think already has a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is with these 2 builds is that Fake Fin's going to have slightly more economy, but User will have the faster meter timing, so basically both players should end up expanding if all goes as it should theoretically. We'll see. I mean, it's up to User whether he goes for that hatchery when the mutalists are out or not.
Wow.
Of course, at any time, other player can just make lots of links. Sorry, you go.
No, Fake Fin actually very bold, making an expansion right away, even before the pool's done, so maybe taking that risk, but he should feel worried that Overlord at the natural seeing 6 lings, and with the Overlord showing, the user know exactly where to send them. So
this is fine. This is what you do with 12 pool, because there's no way the lings can kill it before Fake Fin's own lings hatch, like they're morphing right now. That hatchery has enough HP to survive here, I think.
I mean, we'll see. I'm just a little bit concerned with this kind of thing that it sounds good on paper, but just maybe at these lower tiers with a little bit of decision making. You see the links getting some big damage on the hatchery. 4 links going down into 6. If User takes that fight,
nice
that
micro.
could be doing some
Great
big
micro
damage.
by User. Really good job running those around. And yeah, for some reason there's only 4 lings. I think he didn't save his lava, and he already lost 1 for free. User's just out microing him so hard right now. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Running rings around him. But down to 4 versus 3 lings. That hatchery's still alive. 2 more lings at the top of the ramp. Fake Fin's not using, and 2 more lings arrive for User. This could be over very quickly. Oh, okay. 1-for-1 ling trade there. Now it's 4 to 5. 2 more lings arriving for User though. Fake Fin just not mashing those like hatchery hotkeys as hard as User. Like while you're doing this fight, you got to be hitting those. Okay, but 2 lings die for free for User, and that will stabilize the situation with Fake Fin. That hatchery almost died though.
Yeah, very unfortunate though. We see the User adding more lings, lane speed done while Fake Fin's about to finish. But unfortunately, while both players were so engaged in that fight, the gas is so high, but both players didn't start the lair until after the fight was over. If either of them did that, that could be a massive advantage, but unfortunately, too wrapped up in the micro, they didn't want to lose things immediately. This hatchery pretty low health, and User does have more lings here, so I think if User wants to take this fight, it should be a good opportunity to do it, or at least try to poke around and see if they can get some damage done.
Well, I think he absolutely has to, because not starting that lair is a critical mistake for the 1 hatch player. Because what advantage do you have if your lair isn't faster? You're on 1 hatch, they're on 2, that's all there is to it. So I think User has to make something happen. He needs to get this hatchery or like a bunch of drones or something, or he's going to be in a terrible position. Or even a sunk going to go down. I like that. I think that's smart, because that's all that User can really do. And Fake Fin can see his lair timing, so he knows he's doing alright. Oh,
Ooh,
uh-oh. That's a big deal, actually, because he has to stay here and defend this hatchery. How's he going to defend his drones? User coming in here, takes that one ling for free already. Starts to work on the drones. But Fake Fin using this opportunity to clean up his opponent's lings while he's drilling his drones. That's actually pretty smart. But how many drones will he lose?
I mean, Bakefin's still up on drones right now, losing some more at the natural here. Now, one of the big spots that really is the problem here, you see user trying to get some more damage done on these buildings, but doesn't do it fast enough, losing a lot of links, and actually Bakefin taking a pretty good advantage, finally starting that Spire, which started at the natural off of the side like that. Not sure I'm in love with that positioning. It makes it, it's not like next to buildings kind of throwing things away. If you end up losing that natural, you're going to lose control of Spire too. I think that might be better served in the main, but
well, look at it this way. He has a sunk at the natural, he doesn't have it in the main. And like if Ling ran into the main, he wouldn't be able to deal with those necessarily. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But Ling's coming across now. Fake Fin has quite a few more, I think. I think he's going to bust through here. User has to retreat. That second hatchery for User going up quite fast, but no Spire on the way for User. And I think Fake Fin actually just has more Lings here.
Yeah, this is just getting too wrapped up in the fights, losing control of what you're thinking of. When you see when you play ZVZ and see 900 gas, that's just one of those. Maybe you thought you started, you sent like the drone to make the Spire, but then like something happened along the way. You didn't have the minerals and never started building. One of those games you look at the replay and you just feel real rough about how it turned out. User looking like they're gonna tap out though. Looked like they were in a good spot, but Fake Fin staying a little bit more on course. Looking like they're gonna close out the game pretty safely.
GG.
Here, taking a good look.
Well, I think User had a chance there to bust before Finn's mutas round. What happened is when he sent those Lings into the main, Finn killed the rest of the Lings down at the natural because he knew he outnumbered them. I think that was the critical point there. Because those 4 Lings in the main did huge damage, but because User lost all of his own Lings, that opened it up for Finn to do that counter attack, which ended the game.
Yeah, I mean ZVZ just, it's so visceral that it could just turn so quickly, so I can understand that these little mistakes can happen so fast, but
For sure.
not starting the Lair during the fight, not starting the Spire during the fight for both players, that's just one of those easy things you see, you go, oh, I could have had such a big advantage. Well, we'll see if one of the players in this game could start with a nice big advantage. In the bottom left, Rana Storm's coming back in the white Protoss, and in the top left, we got Starborn Hero. This time on Starborn, not Legacy. He's swapping around, you know, different Terran, new phone.
Yeah, he doesn't want people to keep track of his builds, does he?
Yeah.
So TVP on Polypoid, I like it as Terran, but it suits best for like long-term splitting the map, I think, because there's just so many bases to take. And you know, Terran only needs like a certain number. It's kind of weird in TVP.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say like that's also reasonable for the Protoss then? If there's so many bases to take, that you just take a bunch, you take control of the map, and the Arbiters being such a good unit on maps like this, where you can just kind of keep poking around, keep trying to keep the Terran under control.
Well, I think the ideal map for Protoss would be like really big but not very many bases, because if Terran can get up to like 5 bases, it doesn't really matter how many Protoss has. That's the thing.
Ooh, Ronarstorm.
And that's not that hard for Protoss on this map. I mean, for Terran on this map.
No, Ronarstorm do something a little bit interesting here. Now you see that pylon up at the front. That's, you know, maybe you're thinking like, oh, maybe he thinks it's PBZ on accident, but I think that's just going for that forward gateway. Not, it doesn't feel like a hard commitment to being some kind of cheese. Just getting the gateway, getting the zealots a little bit faster, just trying to get some pressure on. I think that's okay. But
well, he does need to position a probe to build it on time if he wants to do that. I'm thinking maybe he's going to go Nexus first here because he didn't send another probe down.
I mean, that's possible too. But
oh no, he's sending it now. He's sending it now. But hey, you can go 11 Nexus. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if you would want to put the pylon down at the bottom, having everything built there, because that's like kind of gambling the entire thing that you're not going to lose. And it has the gateway there. It's making a little bit of walls. That'll be a useful layer to help constrict, like maybe vultures running in or anything like that.
Alright, well, I will say in that case, if you're going to put the gate down here, you need to get it on time. That's an extremely late gate.
You're not wrong, but remember, week 1 preseason, we got some people trying out CPL
I know,
for the first time. It's
for their own improvement. I got to point it out. You know that like that's a big issue that you need to worry about.
Well, I think that's just one of the things, especially like once you get put on your teams, which everyone should be on their teams now. You got the coaches; they can start helping you out with the stuff. having a good, concise build over and actually working on that refinement, that's something you can do in single player by yourself. Just kind of really trying to get the timings down a lot better rather than maybe trying to remember, be like, oh, I built a gateway at some points. Like, there's, especially early on, it shouldn't be too hard to learn these more refined timings to make sure everything's running as smoothly as possible.
So I don't think he's going to make any zealots. You know, it would have served him quite well because Starborn Hero doesn't have any SimCity here. It looks like he's just going to go straight for those Dragoons. So far, Starborn backing up a lot of gas. I assume he's going to throw down a factory sooner or later. If TVP, of course, is going to have to do that.
I mean, you would say so. You would really say so. But
he's going to show us the new meta.
I mean, in this one, I don't feel comfortable going for the guess. Ron Storm not going for that build we saw last time where the probe didn't end up scouting and wanted to just go for that crazy all-in with all the gateways and a robo off to the side. Instead of trying to get the scouting, get the information, you know, you would read that the gas didn't stop getting mined, but there's no factory on the way. If you're really paying attention, you'd be like terrified right now. I was like, "Where's your factories, dude?" Like you got in the base, you saw nothing.
Yeah, they're both in the middle of the map. Like, oh man, that's my new build, 2-fac, but proxy.
Well, Rostorm apparently, while they're not proxied, just in love with this 4 gates goon, really putting that pressure on. Actually, you can see slam down all these gateways, and this is even before the Dragoon range got started. So really wanting to get this production rolling fast. Starborn has an SCV that sees this wall off, but needs to get in that base, see how it needs to see all these gateways while he still has an opportunity to, and make that appropriate response. Which I guess, like, what, you'd slam down a bunch of factories, or would you try to go for that kind of wall we saw last time with all the mines and just slowing things down until you get siege mode?
Yeah, just what you do is just one factory, get siege mode, get a bunker at the natural, block it with a barracks and an eBay, because Protoss usually follows up with a shuttle or DTs or something. You don't necessarily need 2 factories right away, but usually you go into 2 factory with 2 add-ons and just spam tanks, because if all you want to do is defend, tanks the best.
Tragedy up at the front. The first Dragoon from Rana comes out, and that that reminds Starborn Hero that he's got the SCV that was hanging out in front of the gateways. It kites upward, tries to get back in, but gets killed. So did not get in this base, did not see all these gateways.
Oh dear. Did he see that there was no Nexus still? That might give him an indication. Factory is done here. No tank coming up just yet.
No, I don't think he got far enough to see if there was a Nexus either, so a little bit unfortunate. Although we're going to see what the build's going to be. Siege mode on the way, and also an academy, so I mean, we got Starborn trying to take an expansion, trying to get everything done. The work count looking a lot healthier this game compared to some of the ones in the past, so showing some improvement over the set from week 1, which is always a good thing to see. And Rana just kind of doing the build they were doing before. I was curious to see what the aggression is going to be, because unlike what we've seen before, this is not mines up at the front. It's not a bunker slowing things down. So Starborn here got to be very careful, because these Dragoons could start causing a lot of havoc if it's just Marines to stop it.
Yeah, well, the tank is out. So with the tank, there's forces enough for 2 goons, but like you say, more are going to keep coming. So he needs to go up the ramp or build a bunker. Pretty smart. Pretty quick smart, I mean. Like, he does build a bunker, but the tank is kind of a bit forward of the bunker, which is very dangerous. Another tank is on the way, though. And, you know, once he gets a certain number of tanks in siege mode, especially if he lands that barracks to block, this could be very defensible.
Yeah, lots of guns being rallied over right now. And, like, if Lana just wants to go for it right now, like, that barracks not being landed, not going to obscure the way, you can literally just run forward and not care. You can definitely take that down without too much issue.
Marine's not even the bunker. Okay, there they go.
Yeah, things finally going in. You see the barracks flying back here, not making part of a wall to help slow things down.
That tank even further forward. This bunker is like, you know, gonna help the zealots get dropped on, but that's about it. So it's not even taking part in this fight. And you know, this is a pretty efficient trade, given that Rana's on 4 gates. I think this is fine. Like losing a couple goons for the tanks. Oh, getting in there now. 4 Marines in the bunker does a lot of damage. That's a lot of goons.
I think that might have been an attempt at one of those like old school Pimpus plays, putting the barracks over the tanks. Like, well, maybe he can't, but it was a little bit off. It was still visible from the backside. You can see so much damage being done from these. There's one siege mode.
Oh, the barracks trying to land, but it's bugging. Look at it. Oh.
There's one siege mode up on the high ground here. Rana manages to get up the ramp and kill it. Now you got No factory units made, 6 goons in your base against someone going for factories. It's just gonna keep rallying stuff. I think Ron's gonna smell blood and water and go for the kill.
Yeah, I think this is what Rama was dreaming of trying it in that other game, and so I guess GG. This is just like what's the way to put it? Making it even. Like one game he suffered, and this game he gets to have his build kill the enemy.
Definitely one of those things, and regardless, that build's definitely wild going for a Gateway Goon like that, but I mean, Star Wars here, just joining the club when you play TVP, you feel that pain of, oh, I lost that first tank or those first 2 tanks. The goons in the game's just getting out of control. It happens to everybody. It never feels good. Unless you're the pros, then it feels awesome.
Oh my god. This is why I want to make you zoom in on those dead goons.
No. Absolutely not. You could do it tomorrow when you're running the cast.
That's right, I will. Every Protoss unit that dies, I'll be zooming in and going, oh, look at him suffer.
Well, speaking of a cast tomorrow, we've got a little bit of time before we start the next one. There's another match of the week tomorrow. It's going to be the higher tier matches, a little bit higher level play. Still from week 1, so, feeling things out. People shaking off the rust, getting ready for CPL. So that's going to be a fun time. That's going to be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So around the same start time we had tonight. Other than that, what do we got going on? Well, regular season starts next week. So we're finally going to get into there. If you're in the CPL Discord part of the league, you should have been assigned to a team. You should get in touch with your team admins. They need to start making their sign-up list to figure out who's playing in week 1. So make sure they're doing that. Also, team name and team logos, all that stuff. All the things got to be decided. So your coaches and your team admins are probably looking for your input. You should reach out to them, make sure that we're getting all that stuff ready as soon as possible so we can get the next step moving for the league moving forward. Also, you just have your coaches start practicing, start learning things, get involved with your little team, and just enjoy what CPL is really about. Preseason's fun, but trust me, regular season's so much better.
Yeah, like I was saying, time's running out. If you want to get informed, start practicing now.
Absolutely. With that said, we're going to move into this game, and I mean, this one's been a quick night. This is actually the 9th game. We got one more heading for us after this, and that's it. We're calling it a wrap. We'll see how this game goes. In the bottom right, or red Zerg, it's red Fake Finn. And in the top left, Ron Storms, and that dark blue Protoss. Now, last time we saw Ron Storm play this matchup, it was a weird pylon timing, it was a weird gateway, there was a forge, there was just a whole lot of... It's the right buildings, but that's about it. So I'm curious to see if this game's going to be a little bit more refined.
I am concerned in both games. The gateway was pretty late at the natural, so I think it's going to trend. It's going to continue, but it really puts Rana off to a bad start. We'll see. Have we seen Fake Finn PVZ yet? We have not, have we? So
no, the Protoss was the solo. In this
is he going to proxy in center? He didn't build the pylon in the natural. Where's he going?
I mean, the timing for this, the way it's moving now, I'm guessing it's be a proxy at the natural, but a second probe moving out from the main. The moment I said it, apparently I'm wrong. And it is going to be some kind of wall, but it looks like the probe is moving out very early for that incredibly early scout, maybe worried about something like a 9 pool, wants to be prepared for it, or just wants to know where the opponent is to know, hey, can I go all in with some kind of aggressive play, or should I do a more stable wall and try to go into a mid game?
Sending a scout that early is going to hit Rana's economy extremely hard, though, and so far no benefit from not finding the Zerg. Zerg is going for an overpool as well, so it's not going to be that exciting to scout that. So I think really it's putting Rana at disadvantage already.
Well, we are seeing a different build. The gateway expand for Rana. Well, maybe expand. We'll see. Rana's a little bit of a wild card.
Gateway, I hope expand.
Yeah, gateway. I think an expand's happening at some point. But, I mean, the gateway was timed a lot better, but this wall going to be causing problems. You can't fit a forge next to that on the side. So, this wall, not ideal for the way this is set up, going for something like this. I'm curious to see how the adaptation is going to be to fix this later. I think this is the kind of wall, don't put the pylon in the wall, have it set closer towards it, where the Nexus would be. Around a gated probe in the main, should be able to see the spawn until time, which I believe was just a basic overpull. Nothing too big to worry about. And the hatchery going out for Fake Finn, so... This is pretty standard stuff so far from the Zerg player, nothing too crazy. We'll see what Ron Storm chooses to do. once all this is scouted.
Yeah, getting that hatchery down about molestation is pretty good for Zerg. I'm going to go for this third hatch right away, it looks like, over at the 3 o'clock. So the Zealot is coming up right away this time. Potentially come and harass with that. Of course, Lings are already going to be out, but the question is how many Lings does Fake Fin make, or does he just start making drones? And then that Zealot can actually get stuff done.
Well, I mean, if you do this kind of gateway expand,
Oh, that probe! Ooh.
Well, I was gonna say if you're doing the kind of gateway expand style, you kind of just build a lot of zealots, and then you can decide like if you want to try to move out and be aggressive, as long as you're not too reckless and don't lose them for free. But on Rana, unfortunately, doing the gateway then a forge afterwards, like so this wall, you can see the positioning. This is what I was talking about. Not putting the pylon in the wall makes the wall, the shape of it very clunky. There's holes that you got to cover that are gonna be very difficult. And you can see how much things are getting slowed down here. The gateway of forge, then 2 cannons. Nexus not even started yet, and I mean this is just 4 legs from Fake Fin. You can even see like starting to make drones again. Has 3 hatcheries on the way, so nothing the Fake Fin's doing is like feels worried about what's happening here. Well, Rana is building another gateway in their main, and just delaying this Nexus way too long, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, this is like way defensive. When it's just like a normal build, if Fake never intended to come in here, it's just coming and having a look. But you know, it could potentially actually be some sneaky one-based tech. He did get a second gateway right away this time, so maybe it's going to be Citadel and just like suddenly more zealots than the Zerg could possibly expect to come out.
Yo, I love this build from Fake Fin, the decision here. I don't know how much of this was a choice after seeing it, but 4 hatchery before
Ooh.
gas. Now, like this is like definitely more economic focus here. All this larva. And if you look at Rana stores, like there's gateways, there's forge, there's no nexus. Tech is super delayed because of all this. Not gonna be able to afford things. If you only have to worry about zealots on the map and you could just use lings, you can be super greedy and not have to worry about things for a very long time. So I love the choice we see here from Fake Fin.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So presumably you go from here into Mass Hydra. I'm not sure what else you do that with, because if you're going Mutalisk, obviously you want that lair ASAP. A bunch more Lings coming out as well, though. Could be some kind of legal in, but surely you'd want speed. Maybe it's just in reaction to the number of zealots he sees, but I feel like he's over-making them a bit. If you're going to make so many hatcheries, you're going to need drones to reduce that. 5th hatch coming up, still no gas.
Yeah, 5th hatch, this is like super greedy. Definitely, I think I've seen someone talking about something like this recently. Just plan to get so much of your build moving. You'll get the gases later. I mean, you're on 3 bases. You could slam them down later, worry about it, but lanes will carry you through. If you just build a decent amount of drones, so you shouldn't feel too bad here. Now, Ronstorm finally getting an Nexus start, but if you look at the timing, like this is already so much later than what you normally see when Protoss does these kind of walls to get an expansion up. And if you're just looking at what Protoss has, like gas be in mind, but the tech choice isn't done yet. You haven't figured out like where we're moving from here.
Oh, another cannon, by the way.
More cannons. Actually, having to put them in very unusual spots just from the shape of this wall as well. So, Rana not looking very comfortable with what they're doing here, while Fake Fin, it's not the most standard kind of build you're seeing from a Zerg, but I love the choice and seems to have an idea what they want to do with it.
Well, if a Hydra Bust does come, these cannons are actually going to be pretty OP, but obviously the right side is more open. But yeah, Fake Fin really just like macroing up with these 5 hatches. Lair still not even started. So at some point in this game, there's going to be like this explosion of units from Zerg.
Man, I know it's covered up with the overlay, but I saw it, like 11 drones being made right now. Fake Fin's workout is going to start skyrocketing. See, it knows how much of an opportunity. If you look, 32 drones now. Fake Fin way up in the work count, has done no damage to the Protoss other than the Protoss electing to make these cannons, to make these buildings that are not more economy, slowing things down. Even look, can being made in the main to respect the threat of potentially getting Mutas. It's like all you've seen from Rana at this point, you've seen a couple Lings poking your base and they didn't have speed. Like, you have no idea what you're playing against, but most Zergs, this would just be like, oh, it's some kind of tech opening, I gotta get ready, but really this is just a giant economy for Fake Fin, and Rana's in a really bad spot, and I don't know if they're gonna know how bad it is for quite some time.
So this time, Rana Storm is getting the Zealot speed a lot faster, though. So potentially there could be a move out here. The Hydras have begun production, though. But I mean, with Zealot speed, you can potentially hit wherever they are. So that's a lot of Zealots. Smartly starting to move up before speed's even done too. I like this.
I'm seeing the lair on the way. Zelt's moving now, getting some kills, so could potentially force a reaction from Fakeun, but I'm taking a look at the bases. No creep colonies getting panic made or anything, so Ron's start moving now, and Fake Fin, I don't think he even cares. It's like, I'll defend it with whatever. It's no big deal. No, I'm not
Well,
rushing.
there's no doubt that Fake Fin can produce enough Hydras to defend this. Just a matter of will they be in position is all.
Yeah,
And, you know, Rana's kind of dragging his feet. He's not coming across here.
Yeah, Templar Archive's on the way, so maybe we're trying to transition to get that next step. There's a Stargate done, but I don't even see if a Corsair was made, so a little bit of tech that's just not getting utilized right now. And Rostorp has these Zealots just on the map, but they're not trying to pressure or anything, so now making full use of what's available, unfortunately. And Fakefin's just getting to run wild, setting things up, getting that economy going. And now with Lair Tech done and on the way, you can see Hydra upgrades are on the way. Lurker could be potentially a threat. And, this is making my Protoss heart hurt, man. I don't like this.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Hydras out here. Now, it is a long way, though, for Zerg to come across an attack, so I'm not sure if he intends to do that. Already taking the fourth, in fact, but the Hydras really aren't positioned for that. Corsair, unfortunately, not going the right way to scout that either.
I mean, we've seen it from the way Fakefin's been playing some of these other games. It seems reluctant to hard commit to like real attacks. Seems a lot more focused on like, let me just do like little harassy kind of stuff. Stay most of my stuff at home. Stay defensive. That's why you saw that in the ZVTs they play. Just a lot of mutas, but not actually committing with the entire army. So I'm curious if we're gonna see something like that. And right now, you just see Fakefin kind of poking with the Lings, trying to get some info. But all these hydras to be made, they're just back at home, ready to be defensive, and it's just a rough spot right now. The storm is on the way, about halfway done, so that'll be helpful when we get to that point. But I don't even see Templars being made, so unfortunately they gotta get made, start building up energy. And we don't see any upgrades from the Protoss player either, which when your opponent's like leaning on the ground armor like this, getting those upgrades for these speed cells will be super useful, but unfortunately not in the cards right now.
Yeah, and you know, Zerg only upgrading with one Evo, so not necessarily going to get too ahead there. Oh, I say that, and the second one immediately comes to the line. Oh, I'm back in form, see? Everything I say instantly proved wrong.
Hey,
so yeah, it's going to be pretty tricky here with Zerg double upgrading versus Protoss single upgrading. And you know, Protoss just really needs a bunch more gates here. Like, there's just not enough gates to produce the massive army that you need to fight this many Hydras. And, you know, that fourth base going up as well. I mean, he's building drones there, only a matter of time until it's saturated. Of course, there's at least getting something done. Overlord speed is hard to chase that down, but they do kill it. And all these Hydras, I'm just wondering what the signal is for them to move out, because they're just sitting at home for now. Obviously, those Corsairs never going to get in there. Ling's coming across to scout, always good. And, you know, Protoss not taking a third base or anything either. So four base Zerg versus 2 base Protoss, that's fine for Zerg. That's like a winning position for Zerg.
Yeah, this is if I'm in this spot here, I'm worried, regardless of like what Ron has tech-wise and unit-wise. Just I don't want to be down 2 bases against the Zerg. It doesn't feel comfortable. We do see Ron is starting to add on some different units here. Some Dragoons getting added on the mix. Dark Templar on the way, but still, Storm was researched and no High Templars are made. So if Hydras did come across and start fighting, or if there's an attempt from the Protoss to move forward, it's like there's no Storm to help you get through this. So definitely think that Ra's got to stay holed up for quite a while.
There is a lot of Zealots available, though.
Yeah, Fakefin is researching Lurker, so it's like these Zealots.
Yeah, once Lurkers are out. Yeah, they don't have to die and become Dragoons. They're already in hell once they have to try and fight Lurkers. This wall actually blocks the Goons. Now, killing the gate is totally worth it. We'll see if Runner decides to do that. DT is being produced as well. But there's so many speed overlords around. Well, I mean, if he finds the fourth, there's no overlords there. It's a potential target for a DT.
I mean, possibly, but like you just see like the way Ron is keeping their army together. They don't feel comfortable moving at all. Even though Fakefin, there's no army on the map at all. Just building everything back at home. You can see so many Hydras starting to get out on Fakefin. Now that 4 bases are here and a little bit online, we're trying to get things done. Corsairs are up near the top right. They scout that Fakefin has taken another base and it's not very heavily defended, but look at that supply from Fakefin skyrocket as he just starts slamming down a bunch of Hydra Lurker.
Well, he's going to send out a football team to take out that base. And I think it's enough. It just depends how quickly you can reinforce here. I don't know. I think they might be able to kill the main hatchery before reinforcements arrive because Fakefin's not moving yet. Oh, that egg block though. Oh, okay, it doesn't actually block. I didn't think it did.
No, I think this is definitely a good move from Rana. Gonna get some damage done. There's only one sunken here and some drones should be able to do it, but look.
Drone's evacuating though. Nice move by Fakefin, and the reinforcements will come. So these zealots aren't going to go home. And in fact, they need to get to work on the hatchery soon if they're going to kill it because the hydras are on the way. Oh, lurker. Hurry that lurker. No! Oh, he was trapped.
+1 upgrade for Cross is done here, but armor is as well. You can see Fakeman reinforcing this with a bunch of lings, and they are at that level where they're going to take 3 hits to fire. But these lurkers doing so much damage, same with the hydras, so these zealots come over. This is a pretty big loss for Ron, considering that the base didn't get killed. It stopped mining for a bit,
Yeah.
some drones died, lost 1 sunken, but really, like, this is a big win for Fake Fin, and that's supply gap just keeps growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think Rana could have taken the opportunity to like target fire the hatchery, but he did not. And a lot of drones got away too. So yeah, definitely not worth it for Rana in the end. Although I like the idea of trying to take this wicked for the base, but look how small his overall army is. Like sacrificing 12 zealots actually doesn't work out that well when you're only on what 4 gates at this point in the game. How did that dragoon get out? I thought it was trapped. Oh, he built it at the outside gateway.
Yeah, well, another forge got made in the Pross, man, so I'm expecting that forge in the wall to get killed off soon, so that way there's freedom to move the units through. But Ronstorm, like, a lot of the tech is made. They're moving towards that next step, and with Faefin just adding on a bunch of hydras, Ronstorm's, like, it's going to be hard to attack, it's going to be hard to put pressure on, and it's going to be hard to move out and actually establish his third base, so I don't know what the next play is going to be, and I'm just very concerned that this is going to be the kind of game that, like, Ronstorm has this bank of money, but unable to spend it, and it's just going to be a problem later on.
Yeah, I mean, over time, obviously it'll dwindle, and that's how the game might end. A bunch of hydras coming across here, but Fakefin's still sitting back with most of everything. You know, so the drone count is not that high considering he's on 4 bases. Oh, this Nexus undefended. The Force is out of position, and he does cancel it right away, but that's pretty unfortunate. Because, yeah, Protoss definitely needs a 3rd base against this 4-base Zerg.
That's just funny, though. The Protoss, like, alright, set up the Nexus. I'm going to pile it wall off the ramp. Like, we're good to go. And then they just walk up the other ramp. Like, oh, man.
Yeah. And he's getting, like, the lurker eggs there, too, as well.
Alright, so we're trying to add on some more gateways to get this access to more production, help spend the money down. But Fakefin just doing a great job. Even if the tech choice isn't, like, really trying to evolve hives here, but I don't see, like, real use of the hive just yet. It's not like we got defilers or ultras on the way, but Fakefin, with giant supply lead, doing quite well macro with what they have, and still has the bank to spend as well, so the situation looks good. The only thing I would want to see from Fakefin is just taking another base. Like, you've been on the 4 for a while, you see the Pross is super scared to move out. This is your opportunity to really take over the map and make sure that late game is impossible to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Zerg does, right? They just kind of shut down Protoss from expanding. They don't need to expand themselves that much. I mean, on 4 base for 2 base anyway. Now, the thing is, Maelstrom is coming up, so I assume we're going to see Dark Archons, but the thing is, that doesn't work on borrowed lurkers.
I mean, it's okay against Hydras, but even, like, the area it hits isn't that big. It's like you're going to stun
Well,
some...
it's big enough, but that's the thing, it doesn't help you versus lurkers. Now, Mind Control, that's pretty good against lurkers, so just snipe them with it. 4 Corsairs coming out here, see what they can find, but there's Hydras just stacked up, like, to the sky over here. Like, you don't want to go near those Overlords.
There's just Hydras everywhere. Every base just overlords Hydras. It's like a little party back at home, being very responsible and safe, and like not trying to.
Yeah, that's right.
Just hanging out.
If the Hydras leave the base, a chaperone Overlord goes with them. Oh, flying over those Hydras, 2 of the Corsairs get taken out. Man, it's just weird. These Corsairs look so slow. I always thought they were a pretty fast unit, but just then they look like the slowest unit ever.
I think it's just we're used to seeing faster stuff like speed zealots and these speed hydras and things, and the Corsairs just kind of leisurely moving around the map, not really getting any fights or anything. It does seem a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Just seeing attempted macro up from Ronstorm, build up that army, and hopefully get to that point where you eventually feel comfortable trying to move out and get something done here. Observer's finally on the way as well. Maybe that's the thing we're looking for, just to make sure you're not caught off guard by lurkers. There's a little force up by that 3rd that was attempted to be established, but it's not like there's a giant reinforcement. I think if Ron is careful, they should be able to break through that, maybe set that up for the third base. But even still, just if you had to just take that mineral only, just want to see Ron get on a map, try to take that next step. As you see Fake
Okay,
Fitz doing
this shuttle, by the way, Stormdrop's gonna try, but it's gonna be hard not to fly into all those hydras. I'm looking right now. He's going straight for the 3 o'clock, and that's like the last place the shuttle wants to go. See if he changes course.
So it's literally just going diagonally across the map. So with a slow shuttle and high Templars, this is fantastic. I love this.
I mean, if no one's gonna stop him,
no!
Oh no!
No! Keep moving.
Just stay still. Their vision is based on movement. Oh my god, he actually can't see that.
That's ridiculous.
He actually can't see that.
That's ridiculous. That this is the luckiest Mr. Magoo in his way through the map, just not getting seen at all, barely getting invited. It's like it's not even hanging out like over a lake, or it's just in the middle of terrain.
Just down in the middle of nowhere. I choose to believe that Rana was like 300 IQ. He knew the Hydras would be coming on that exact path, so he just parked the shuttle there where he knew it wouldn't be seen. Alright, here he goes. It's commencing his attack run. Oh god, there's so many Hydras there though. No, there's no way. Don't fly in that way, please. Turn around. Turn around. It's not too late.
Like maybe you drop here, just go for the Hydras, not even drones.
I mean, I guess that's not bad, right? Yeah, he's got 2 storms.
Oh wow, 200. All right, finally he gets.
Oh, actually, you know what? That's pretty worth.
That was definitely worth. That second one doing so much damage, but you see Fake Fin starting to set up that extra good contain. Hydra's moving up towards the top left, make sure Rada can't get out of the base.
He's going in the main now. Although he's not using the shuttle. This Templar wants like to be independent, so it's like no, I'll walk the rest of the way. Drop me off here, that's fine. And he's gonna get in there. Gets a few drones, not bad.
Yeah, a couple of drone kills, and if you can get that out, it's not super bad here. But still, this is kind of like dropping the bucket. If you look at the production, so many lurkers on the way for Fake Fin, and it's just if you look back at home, it's like this Rana Storm army. It's just some core gateway units. It's nothing too crazy. And it's like it's not like there's a lot of high Templars. There's not like a lot of Reavers, anything like this. I think when Fake Fin groups up the army and wants to go for the attack, it's gonna be very difficult for Rana to actually stop it.
Well, I mean, Rana has a huge bank, and Fake Fin doesn't actually have that many drones. I feel like if Rana can take one fight and take a third, the position will not be bad at all here.
This shuttle, the luck's gonna run out very soon.
Where was it? Oh no! Imagine if like Fake Fin just moved commanded them at that moment.
He did try to walk back the same way, just like across the whole map. It worked once. Not quite, not this time. Fake Fin's army sitting outside the door.
DT here. This DT can do work if Lurker Splash doesn't kill it. There's no overlords nearby. In fact, there isn't any overlords on this side of the map. I mean, he has overlord speed, so he'll get there eventually. And the Goons stepping forward too, although they're kind of in the concave. They're in the convex, you know. Those Lurkers doing huge splash, but decent dust there. Breaks through those Lurkers, nicely done.
Yeah, good move out from Monostorm for taking a decent fight so far. Now, like, look at
I don't know about that storm though.
Yeah, not the best storm. He does get the Hydras to back off a little bit, buy some time, but you can see Fake Fin, giant supply lead, but that doesn't really mean anything. You see, like, the army's so divided all over the place. Some of it's up at the 12 and denied at third. Some's on the map, and then you just see giant pockets of all these Hydras and Lings and Lurkers just at every base. So very ultra defensive, but that does make the army that's actually on the map that's going to be fighting Rana's army first significantly weaker.
Yeah, well, if he... Wow, look how many DTs he made, my god. There is an Overlord. Is this like going to be reversed, where Protoss just tries to snipe the Overlord, so his DTs can kill everything? I mean, you know, like normally Zerg's trying to snipe the Observer.
Yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable. It seems like at this spot, you've been on 2 base for a long time, you're not sure how to break the game open, just go for the KP boys. They do so much damage, and maybe there's not an Overlord, maybe the Dragoons can snipe, and that's really all you need here, but you can see... Oh,
that probe is never going to expand, did you see that?
Yeah, I heard the attempt at it, just walking over. The Overlord movement's going to be able to spot BC, Fake Fin starting to bleed out on the map, so... I think that Ronstar has to be very careful about where they move this army to try to secure the next thing. Although, this is just such a rough spot. So many Lurkers and Hydras all over the place. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to morph these GTs. Oh, dude, I didn't realize he's getting Arbiters.
What? Hold
Look,
on.
he's getting Arbiters.
Oh, gee.
He's gonna recall. He's gonna recall those DTs, and then they'll kill the tech in the main like really fast. No, I'm serious. It makes sense, like because they have huge damage, right?
They do have huge damage.
They'll just nuke the hive in like 1 second.
Right? You're not wrong, but I think Fake getting the same idea, that Overlord drop on the way, so both
Oh, the
players are going
Zerg
to be doing
recall, they call
something
it.
big.
It's like recall, but it doesn't cost any gas.
Yeah, and it's way faster, and you can't die to Scourge on the way.
Okay, finally gonna get this third at the mineral only. Yeah, yeah, that's right. How many scourges does it take to kill an arbiter? Is it 4?
I don't know offhand. Never built
Well, when this
arbiters in the
arbiter
match.
finishes, I'll tell you. I don't know how much HP they have. I want to say it's like 250 shields, but that seems like a lot.
I know better than to guess right now when I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's probably the smart thing. I'm worried about this base if Zerg notices it. He can just like walk right in there. If Rana needs to like just move the army up on that high ground, then it'll be a defensible position. You know, a couple of storms, pretty hard for Zerg to get in there.
Yeah, I'm just concerned here. You see that like there's an attempt to take this third base here, but Ron Storm still has plenty of money. But you look back in the main, like there's a lot of inactive probes, but there's also like not a ton of gateways, not a lot of things being built. And we see Fakeman trying to move forward, slow down this base, moving. Hydra's taking some focus fire, backing off before it takes too much, but there's a couple lurkers here doing some pretty big damage. One Templar moving forward, decent storm on one of the lurkers, the other one's still going to be able to fire. Fakeman not overcommitting to this attack, it's realized the base being taken. They can make the attack whenever they really feel like it, baiting out some storms, and when you're trading like that's only hit one lurker, that's not so bad. But look at the army we're getting reinforced from Fakeman. So many hiders on the way. They're gonna be able to shut down this third.
Dude, he needs to bring that army in the natural up. There's so much in the natural he could use. Ah, look at all these DTs. Although there are overlords here. Nice storm. Still has one more. Oh, that's pretty good storm. But if his army doesn't move up here, it doesn't really matter how many storms are. Like he can clean this up. He just needs to, you know, 1A it.
Well, I mean,
That doesn't look like he will.
it's part of the problem that you're saying. Like,
Here we
oh,
go.
there's some decent storm. Here comes the KP boys, just out of that vision range, so they're doing pretty big damage. Although slightly in range now, but it does not save the Nexus, going down again. So Monster back to the situation they're at. They're tapping out, realize they're gonna be in a rough spot. I don't think there's anything tremendously wrong there other than just not being able to macro and produce the money. And once you start building the bank especially, never a bad idea, just slam down some more production. Try to work your way through it. Like, they'll be useful later. You just need to be able to get out of the map, start getting some control. Ron will just hold up in that top left spot the entire game, it felt like.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, Protoss does kind of have to get out there and put pressure on the Zerg. And yeah, Zerg, you know, knew what to do and just expanded a lot instead of just like trying to attack pointlessly. So props to Fake Fan for knowing what to do in that kind of situation.
Absolutely. We got one more game tonight. It's the lobby's ready. We're waiting for you. And we're gonna get in there.
Sorry.
And then tomorrow we got more casts. It's gonna be super exciting. I can't wait. But we're gonna see if how this game's gonna be working out. Just one more for the Knights. I'm just really excited to start the regular season. It's like I feel like the days are going slower, waiting for CPL to start up. In the bottom right, we got User. He's back for his final revenge in the dark gray kind of Zerg. And the bottom left.
Black?
Is that black?
They call it black.
I guess. And then in the bottom left is Dragon Zord and the Blue Terran. So both of the players that we've seen throughout these games having a little bit crisper execution of their builds, kind of a little bit better making the early attacks and being aggressive. So seeing these guys play against each other, it's going to be pretty exciting. You know, kind of curious to see what we do. Okay, especially curious to see if a user's going to go for that 9 pool again.
Yeah, I mean, he won't be my favorite Zerg if he doesn't.
So you say favorite Zerg, but it's like if you were like cheering for, it's like go user 30988.
Well, the thing is, you know, against Terran, it's kind of like, okay, 9 pool fine, try and get the lings in, but 9 pool speed not so much, and that's what I really like is 9 pool speed. So it's kind of like if you were gonna win, 9 pool speed makes you win harder, then you would have just won with normal lings anyway. Probably.
Well, Zerg, your boy, stays your favorite, goes 9 pool, and look, there's a drone on an extractor, so 9 pool speed seems like it might be the choice here. Dragon Sword's setting up for some kind of wall. How does the wall look in this bottom left location? Is this what you're looking for? Is it going to stop links?
Yes, the building configuration is right, but again, I don't know the map if that's actually tight on the cliff. I think it probably is. But yeah, it looks good actually. That seems pretty good. So
Well,
yeah, this 9 pool speed coming up will actually not be very good in this situation. Usually, you're still my favorite Zerg, but I'm doubting. I'm doubting the victory.
yeah, I mean, he's still. There won't be by the time he gets there. As long as you see the scout, there won't be a lot of Marines there. You might be able to still force some pressure, at least get some SCVs to come off in mine. But I think if he sees the wall and can't get in, I think just adaptation to getting quick lair might be the way to go. Unfortunately for a user, the Overlord went north, went the wrong direction. It's gonna see that SCV moving around, so hopefully they don't get the wrong idea and think they're in the top left instead.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's very popular to go straight for lurker on one hatch if you're in this scenario. It doesn't work out. But with that, it's like getting the layer with the first 100 gas knot speed. So I don't know, it's going to be tough for user to make that work. We'll see what Dragon's going to get up to here. Oh, no, it's not a wall. Link's can actually get in there. Ooh, the depot needs to be one more tile to the left. So actually, Dragon's in a lot of trouble.
The lane's going over, not taking that wrong guess, going to that bottom right, so going to be able to get there very fast. CC being started on the low ground, no bunker. There's just one Marine out in the open. This is exactly what user wants to see as he gets here, that the Marines are easy to kill. And doesn't even, I was going to say he doesn't want to fight them, wants to just run past them, but it takes the free kill. 2 Marines down.
Yeah.
CC gets canceled, and Dragon's in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, this is so hard to deal with here. You know, no SCVs to block. They're just on top of the barracks. Although 2 getting paired away for that SCV, that is not what Zerg wants here at all. But was that Marine ever going to survive? Nope. It's just so hard to keep them alive once the Lings are in the base.
You see a couple lanes moving through. That lane speed just finishing up now as well. Another bunker being added in, but look, you can move to the left of the racks too. There's no way to plug up all these holes. Speed links in the main. This is so much worse. Dragons are trying to spread out the SBs to buy as much time as possible, but we won't be able to get this bunker up. And with there's nothing to protect this. Dragons are tapping out, and all right, there's your favorite Zerg.
Okay.
There's your favorite Zerg,
but
dude.
don't leave. Don't leave. Hear me out. I want to see why this replay is 7 minutes long. Feel free to like ×2 it or something. So his opponent is left. Well done, user. What's he doing for the next like 3 minutes?
Did the opponent actually leave, or did it just say?
Yeah. His opponent's left.
Really? So they're just hanging
They're going
out?
to diplomacy.
They're just,
yeah, look,
they're just hanging out?
yeah, he's just basking in the glory, I guess. Like, he's still doing stuff. His APM is maintaining. I guess it's dropping now. Yeah, look, he's moving the links. Like I said, I was right. He takes the time to kill, like, every single building. Wait, where's he going?
Yeah, but he killed every building. Why wouldn't
What
it
is
end
he
the game?
doing? What is he doing? No, wait, there's another building. There's a CC still. But yeah, his opponent is left anyway, so it's irrelevant. He hit, like, continue playing. He's making a bunch more hatcheries. I guess he's, like, practicing his macro?
I don't know. Shenanigans.
Man, like, I bet he didn't expect us to look at this when he was playing this game. Oh, come on, you don't want to see what happens?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm still in here. I'm not leaving, alright?
Well, you can tell the class what you see, but
Yeah, I will.
for now, I'm going to send us out for this. That was the end of the match of the week. As I've plugged a couple times, we got one tomorrow. It's going to start 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be from week 1 as well, but a higher tier group, so a little more clean builds, a little more crisp execution, so it'll be a good match to see. Hope to see everyone that's here be there as well. If you're on your teams for CPL, team admins are going to be starting to work with things. They need to start figuring out the lineups for week 1 of the regular season, which starts next week. Those lineups have to be in by Sunday, so make sure you're telling your team admin if you want to play, you got to let them know, so that way they can figure out what they're doing from there. Other than that, you're on your teams, you have your coaches, start practicing, start learning, meet the people on your team, start setting up practice sessions, really get involved in what CPL is really about. It's not just about playing preseason in groups and just playing games. It's about building a little bit of community and doing everything you can to improve as a player. And I want to thank Neblime for hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. By the way, he did not kill every single building he left, and was a deacon still alive. Just so you all know.
Alright, thank you. The mystery has been solved. But other than that, we will see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. You're going to be here. I know you will be. You guys always are reliable being around when I want to cast more stuff. And it'll be Neblime with me again tomorrow, too, so it'll be a good time. make sure that you're
See
there.
you guys then.
Yep, see you tomorrow.